It's over. It's over for the Andrew Berry K draft allegations. It's over. Are we hearing that shit anymore? What about the third round? No more of that. Welcome to Q and Code. Got a lot to talk about the Browns draft, the Cavs back in the 2-2 series. A lot of interesting things. Where do we want to start, man?
Where do we want to start? We're not starting with Cavs today. Absolutely not. We are talking about the Browns. We are talking about the good things happening in Cleveland sports, and we are talking about the Cleveland Browns draft. And the first thing we got to start off with is them taking the guy you didn't want, Spencer Fano at 9.
I didn't want.
Yeah, you were like, nah, I don't want to.
See, you do this shit to me all the time. I'm tired of this.
What's your saying? You didn't want him. You didn't want him.
Don't act like I hated Spencer Fano. I didn't want Caden Proctor.
I didn't say you hated him. See, now you
do it. You know that shit. You know. Don't do that.
I'm just saying you did want him. You thought he was a guard.
My concern was like, hey, are they going to put him at guard? What's the plan for him? They said they measured him at 33-inch arms. Now that that's cleared up, it's like, okay, he could play tackle.
You were like, he's an interior guy.
Concerns,
he might be a center.
I mean, like, yeah, the Baltimore Ravens were talking about putting him at center. That's what was like, are they measuring short arms too? There were concerns. They cleared up those concerns. But you ain't had to do that.
What you mean?
Come out here. Quincy hated this pick. Stop. That's not what happened.
Say you hate. I never said. I never used the word. I never used that word. I did not use that word at all.
You try to be slick here. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, the guy you didn't want. That's all I'm saying.
You speak internet more fluently than me. You know what you just did there. Stop. Stop.
Just saying. You know what happens?
That's crazy. But they did take Spencer Fano there at 9. The more I heard about it, the more I liked it. The process behind it. It was a tackle one, right? And at the end of the day, whatever anybody's individual evaluations are of it, matters less than like how the process of that pick plays out. And it seems like they had a pretty solid process. They liked him. That was clearly their tackle number 1. And if that works out, then that's going to be great. If it doesn't, then maybe we can relitigate it. Maybe we won't, but I don't mind the swing there at tackle.
My thing about Fano is this, though. It's obviously if he plays left tackle and he's a good left tackle, then perfect. No notes. Everybody's just like, we're good. Mm-hmm. But even if he can't play tackle, I still think he could be good long term on the interior somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the tackle stuff. I think he needs to play with the lower pad level. I think that's one of the big things with him. He kind of plays high sometimes. He's built like a sumo wrestler, right? When you look at him, he has a lot in his lower base. And when he engages that base, he's very powerful. But when he's not that strong, right? So I think there's also like having to address the mechanics being a little bit more attention to detail with his game, right? I think that's something that's going to matter a lot with him. George Warhop's whole thing is supposed to be attention to detail, so we'll see how that works out. But
Did you see the video? Did you see the video with him and Fano?
Oh, with George? No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? No, that was really interesting. That was
what happened?
Because it was just because you don't really hear a lot about George Warhop, so to actually see him like talking to Spencer and like breaking down some of the things that he was doing. First immediate takeaway, he's no nonsense, like zero nonsense.
Are you talking about the video from the combine?
No, it's not from the combine. He's still in his combine stuff, but he went to the Browns. Like he went to the Browns.
Oh, okay. That's from I thought that was a meeting from the combine that they released.
No, he went to go. Like he said that as soon as he left the combine, the first place he went to was Cleveland. But he still had all the combine stuff on it. Yeah. Like he still had all his shit on. And like I was like, hey man, this
I've seen that
no
video.
Nonsense. Yeah, that was like no nonsense coach. Like he's not fucking around about nothing.
He was 100% not taking Caleb Loma.
No, not even. Wasn't even considering it. Wasn't even considering it. It's like, even when he liked something that Spencer did, he said it in a way that made me like a little concerned.
Yeah, he's very attention to detail. So yeah, I think there's some small details that Fano needs to work in his game. Looking at his tape, at right tackle, the length didn't really affect him that often. I think there were a couple of reps where David Bailey got the better of him because his hand placement wasn't right. Against Texas Tech, he doesn't struggle against those like twitchy guys, right? Like that's not an issue for him. Good feet, everything else like that. I just think he needs to play better pad level, and then he can stand to be. He's pretty good with his hands most of the time. It's just sometimes he gets a little bit over eager with his hands, and he kind of misses places where they should be. But if that's all fixable, correctable stuff. The big concern with me was like, what's that measurement on the arm length? Because that's a whole inch in difference. Like 32-inch arms. Like I care. Like I know people are doing their whole thing about how they don't care about measurements, all that shit. And we do this every year, but there's a threshold here for the Pro Bowl, man. 33-inch arms for every tackle since 2020. It's not a coincidence, right? He's at that threshold, so that's my biggest concern. Right? So now that that's cleared up, we're good to go. I mean, he brought a lot to the table. I thought Monroe did. He's a bit more refined as a player than Monroe, but you're still talking about two guys who are super athletic at the tackle position. Fano, really good out in space, and I think that's going to be the fun thing is having a left tackle that can move again, because we have not seen that in quite some time.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. When's the last left tackle they had that could move, Joe?
I mean, like Greg Robinson could move. Like not legitimately. Like that year he was in Cleveland and he was actually good. He can move. That's why he was like the number 2 pick of the draft that year. He was like a good athlete. His issues were like pass protecting. Yeah,
I always forget that Greg was here. I was like, oh yeah, Greg was here.
Legit, not the greatest mover. Dewan, not the greatest mover. I mean, like Joe Thomas was a pretty good mover. I would say. I think we would all agree. Joe Thomas was pretty decent.
Yeah, I think he was pretty. He's pretty all right. Like, he was pretty decent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think I think Greg probably is the last guy who could really like get out to an edge, but even then he wasn't doing it consistently. So yeah, it's a big move for him, right, to get the tackle there. And shout out to Andrew Berry for finding a trade back when like the ground was not fertile. Like he somehow convinced the Chiefs that they needed to move up to 6 to get Mansour Delane. Don't know how he did it. Hey, shout out to Kwesi. No Kwesi worked there? No, Kwesi worked for the 49ers. He came in handy later.
Hey, Chad said Greg Robinson could move. It just wasn't on the football field.
No, Greg could move on the football field, but I know what you're saying.
He definitely moved a lot more off the football field. Definitely moved a lot more off.
Greg moved in all directions, on and off the field. Back
and forth.
Left to right. You know what I mean? He moved in all directions. He
did what he had to do. Tackle. He did what he had to do, man. He did what he had to do. No, but one of the things
he went to jail again.
Wait, so he got out and then went back?
Yeah, let me double check that. But I remember looking at his wiki being like, yo, he's still in crime. But yeah, let me pull it up right here. Professional career, legal troubles. In 2020, he was jailed in El Paso on possession of 156.9. They could have given him a full 160. 156.9 pounds of marijuana. He was also with ex-NFL player Quan Bray, was stopped around 7:15 at the Border Patrol in 2020 Tahoe. On February 2022, Robinson was arrested again with $120,000 worth of illicit drugs in Louisiana.
Okay, so the second one is definitely like more serious.
I don't know how much 156 pounds of marijuana cost wholesale. I imagine it's a similar amount of money. I
It's just
think
the fact that
they measured it with money because he probably had crack.
I was about to say, so like the first one, he just had weed, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. The second one sounds like it was definitely more serious. It wasn't just weed. It was some serious stuff.
In the eyes of the government, they both Schedule 9, right? Or whatever they call it.
I don't know how we're classifying marijuana at this point.
I think they're changing it soon, but it's still, I think marijuana is still classified as this is because the crime bill back in the day. Shout out to the Clintons, no shout out. But
I was about to say, no, we are not shouting them out for that. Absolutely not. Not shouting them out for that at all.
But it basically put weed on the same level as crack.
Which is just insane.
It did the same thing to like shrooms too, like all the psychedelics. It was basically an anti-hippie bill. That's what it was. It was like that generation's resentment of the anti-war. But I don't want to get all in. This ain't the place to get all into it. But yeah, that's where it comes from, right? If you talk to people in that era, why it was done that way.
Yeah, but back to Spencer Fano.
Hell of a detour.
We find a way, man. We find a way.
Yeah.
But back to Spencer.
So it said I thought that was Reagan. It was both.
It was
that
both.
was a collaboration.
Yeah, it was both.
That was bipartisanism at its best, right?
Coming together to fuck over another group of people. Anyway, yeah, I told you when we talked, like after, I think it was on your stream. I got a coach in college that I played football with at St. Ed's. And he used to, when he coached for Northwestern, Rashawn Slater was on the team. He DM'd me. He was like, hey, like I usually don't say things about other players too much. He is like, Spencer Fano, that is an elite pick. And if he's on the board, the Browns need to take him because that'll let me know that the Browns are trying to be serious. He was like, hey man, he's like, I coach Rashawn. And when I watched him, I was like, I'm not saying he is Rashawn, but I was like, it looked kind of the same. I was like, and Rashawn didn't have like super duper long arms either. Like I think he was 33
right at
on
33.
the dot. Yeah, I was like, he's 33 on the dot. So I was just like, he was like, yeah, he reminds me of Rashawn a lot. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take.
And that was at his pro day as well.
Yeah,
it's not his combine measurement.
Yeah, Corey told me. I think it was Corey who told me like use the pro day measurements. No, I can't remember who it was. Somebody told me it's like use the pro day measurements. Don't use the combine ones.
It's probably Corey. That sounds like Corey.
Yeah, it sounds like Corey. Shout out BJX. Hey, BJX in the chat. Shout out BJX, man. We got to get you on the pod. So
they ran the same 40, 491. A little bit slower of a split from Fano, 172, 168 for Rashad Slater, but he's at 304 pounds. Fano was at 311. So,
that's
a little bit heavier. Yeah, you could probably explain that like 0.3 of a difference there. Vertical jump, did they do the same vert? About an inch difference in vert. Broad jump 111, broad jump 112 for Rashad Slater. 3-cone 734, so he ran a better 3-cone than Slater. And then 20-yard shuttle 467, a little bit slower 20-yard shuttle than Slater. So I mean, yeah, they're comparable athletically, and there were questions about what's Rashad Slater going to play when he came out there, right? The thing is that apparently the Browns made the determination. It's like, hey, if you think Fano can play tackle, then he's going to be a franchise left. Then you think that there is a franchise left tackle in this draft, and he's the guy that you're going to take, right? And that's the determination they made. Everybody was arguing about if there's a franchise left tackle in this draft. The Browns did not have that argument. They very clearly thought it was Spencer Fano. First word out of Andrew Berry's mouth about him is that he's our franchise left tackle. So they probably feel great about that one. You move back to 9, you get an extra 3rd-round pick. That comes in handy later. and you get your tackle number one and the guy that you view as a franchise left tackle. So, I mean, it's a huge get there.
And I know some people are a little concerned about him moving from right tackle to left tackle, but the more I dived into it and read about it, so he played left tackle his freshman season at Utah. So he was a left tackle, and he was
a left tackle in high school.
Yeah, and the only reason he moved to right is because they were trying to accommodate Lomu, because that was his best position.
Well, I think Andrew even talked about this. Is the reason guys play right and left tackle aren't for the same reasons they were 20 years ago, because the demands of both tackle positions are the same. So it's really more of a logistics thing, right? 20 years ago, there was a reason somebody was at right tackle. Now, it's not really a reason somebody's at right tackle.
Your right tackle needs to be good, just like your left tackle needs to be.
Yeah, they do enough. Defense has evolved to the point to where they move these guys around enough to where it matters. So yeah, him moving to right to left, I don't really worry about. And he's such a good athlete. His feet are so fluid. I imagine he's going to be relatively ambidextrous when it comes to that. And they worked him out, right? They feel good about how his feet look like working left. And he worked left tackle because he was trying to get here, right? So yeah, I think he'll be fine there. I think too much gets made of the flip from right to left sometimes. There are some guys who can't do it, right? But think of the guys who really can't do it, the big chunky motherfuckers fucking DeJuan Jones. It's yeah, of course that guy's gonna have a hard time because look at all that stuff he's trying to move right there. Some guys can't do it because they just muscle memory is just too tied to being a right tackle because they play too many snaps, right? That would be the concern with a Blake Miller who played a ton of snaps at right. Other guys, they could just flip it and be fine. They've made that determination that he could do that and be fine. As much as people complain about Jed Wills and flipping him from right to left, that's not why Jed wasn't successful. Jed was fine at left tackle his first year pro, right? It got worse later and later, and I don't think it had anything to do with him playing left tackle versus right tackle.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be perfectly fine. I think it was a great pick, and
the
offensive line looks a lot better than it did last year.
And you got to factor into the thing I always try to factor in is I don't get to meet with these players as intensely as the Browns do.
Yeah.
And that matters. The vibe check matters, right? We try to make these decisions and determination off tape alone. And you could do a lot with tape, I'm not saying it's pointless, but there's some stuff that's going to pop up when you meet somebody in person. It's going to make you go, nah, right? I don't care how good the tape is, right? And that happens every year with players. So, it's also factoring that. They seem to love the personality fit for Fano as well.
Yeah, that's a good, that's low key, the biggest part of it to me is just hey, can you make sure that we're getting the right personality, the right guy this time around?
Very different personality than Jed Wills, right?
Yeah, extremely different personality than Jed. Likes Pokemon. He's excited. He's excited he got to come to Cleveland because LeBron. Okay, yeah, this
he
feels
seems like he's in good spirits about that. I mean, the brother played in Utah. You know what I mean? People be pretty happy when they come to Utah to get to Cleveland. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Utah. It just is what it is.
He was talking about the traffic. He was man, look at the traffic here. And I was just oh.
No, it always cracked me up when Donovan Mitchell discovered that Cleveland had a lot of black people.
Oh yeah.
Got here and was oh, we good. I was getting arguments with people that day because people were oh man, he's going from Salt Lake City to Cleveland. I'm do you think those are the same thing? There's no shot. You think those two cities are demographically similar, do you?
Yeah, it's gonna be he's gonna enjoy himself, I think. I think he's gonna enjoy himself.
He's gonna enjoy the food, you know what I mean? They're gonna take him to what's the spot they always take him to? B spot, the Michael Simon place or whatever it is, the celebrity.
Something like that. Yeah.
I ain't never been to B. Have you ever been to B Spot?
No.
As much as I heard about B Spot throughout my life, I have never once been like, let's go to B Spot today. Shout out in the chat if you've been to B Spot. I need to know. Is it good? Do you recommend it? Is it still available? Is it still open? Because it's a restaurant. You know, they be closing restaurants. You want to move to the next pick?
Oh yeah. You know what time it is. You know what time
this is. Now this is legitimately your boy.
This is my guy. This is my guy. I pounded the table for KC.
They almost got my boy. Oh, we could have made that trade to ruin Pittsburgh's day. Could you imagine I got Mekhi Levin and that? Oh my God. Victory lap of a century, man. Like,
oh my God.
Hey,
can we talk about that? Can we talk about that video? We got to talk about the video for a while. We got to talk about the
man. Because that's top 5 most embarrassing things I've ever seen happen to a franchise. And they get away with it, man. Dude, if that happened to Cleveland,
we never hear that
SNL sketch.
We never hear the end of it if it happens to the Browns.
They would put it in that damn scroll. You know, when we be watching the games, we be trying to mind our own business. Like, hey, Cleveland, do you remember how much misery you've been through? Let's go through all 40 of the things that have made you miserable over the. They don't even keep it to fucking football anymore. It'd be like, remember when Michael hit the shot? Like, okay, now we just throwing shit in there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool.
The 97 World Series. I'm like, all right. Like, hey, remember they blew a 3-1 lead in 2016? Cool. Thank you. Like, appreciate that. I needed that.
Oh man.
That's crazy. That he was on the phone. Oh, they can get in trouble for that phone call because they called him way too early. They called him
way too early. Way too early.
He was on the phone talking to Omar Khan. Omar Khan about to do the thing. Hey, Mekhi, we're about to hand you over to Art. Art's gonna introduce you to the team. And he like, Philly calling.
Why Philly calling?
Why Philly calling? No, he didn't take the phone down. He had the phone right here. They heard it. They were on the phone, speakerphone. Everybody standing up, clapping, listening to the phone call. Like, this is a moment. They recording this shit. Why Philly calling? Philly. Take it on speaker. Take it on speaker. Take it on speaker.
Oh
man.
How we put Omar in the
in-state rival. And you low-key got hold out because you hired Mike McCarthy. Because that's how the Cowboys got the information to rely to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Insane. You know why it's insane though? You know why it's insane? Not only is it your in-state rival, not only did you get put in the cuck chair by your in-state rival.
Let's call it what it is. It's the Omar Khan chair.
You are also hosting the draft. The draft it's
literally in your backyard.
How he was like, watch this.
How it was like, oh, they think they about it. Yeah, 2 4th-round picks to send them.
It was like, I gotta do it so one time. Just one time.
You thought you had a girlfriend and then you went to the club bathroom and came back and found out you ain't got nothing but a bill. But a tab in your name, brother. Ooh, that's rough.
Oh, that's terrible. But you know what? I don't even. You know what's crazy? I don't even think Max was a bad pick. But it's just like, if he's not good
on him, though, you know what I mean? Like, it's like way back in the day, right? Are you familiar with like the John Elway trade, and everything else that went down to happen to that? The consolation prize that the Colts got for John Elway was Chris Hinton. Chris Hinton was a good left tackle for a long time. But guess what, man? Nobody ever felt good about no Chris Hinton because that ain't what the pick was about. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, we could have had John Elway. Now, obviously, Mekhi Levin is not John Elway, But man, if Makai Lemon turns into something, which I believe he will, I think he's going to be one of the best players in this draft class. Well, that's going to be quite embarrassing.
Oh yeah, we should probably just mention it real fast. Martin Emerson is officially a New Orleans Saint.
Congratulations to him. Is Joe Wood still there?
Maybe.
Let me double check that. Did you go back with Joe? Nah, he's over there working for the Raiders.
God bless.
Hey man, this brother still got a job. But yeah, this is unbelievably embarrassing for Pittsburgh right there. I mean, it literally went from my worst case scenario. They're on the phone with it, and I'm like, oh my God, they just got the second coming of Hines Ward. I'm gonna be pissed about this for like years. And then Philly saves us. So you know what, man, Howie, as much as I hate that you just take dudes off the board that I love every year, hey man, you came through when I needed you. You talk about the lesser of two evils.
Hey, no, Howie might. Hey, this might benefit us on the back end. We'll see.
Hey,
This might benefit us on the back end. We'll never know. You never know. But I don't care about none of that because we got my boy. I pounded the table for my boy, and they took him at 24. Man, I knew AB be listening to me, bro. I know he'd be listening to me. He be tuned into the pod every now and then, you know what I'm saying? And then we finally got KC Concession. I was like, yes. Somebody on this pod gonna be right about something.
See, look, that's another one.
What you talking about? What you talking about?
See, right there. That's another one. See, you think I don't be hearing this shit? I have ears. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I'm just saying. I feel like you take this little personal cue.
You heard that shit too, right?
Wow.
Curtis, come on screen. Come on screen. You heard that shit too, right? You heard you trying to slide that shit in there real quick. Like that shit was crazy, bro. Like you hear that?
Wow.
You acting innocent.
Wow.
He's saying wow. Why are you saying wow?
Curtis, I said something wrong. Curtis, I said something crazy.
Curtis.
Hey man, it sounded crazy when you said it. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah.
It sounded crazy when I said it.
Yeah, it's crazy. You acting just like Damo doing the group chat, talk about some, I was gonna say, like you just said it.
My fault, though. I wasn't trying to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know I wasn't trying to offend nobody.
That's crazy. I'll be watching out for Cole, man.
I'm just excited. They drafted a player I wanted, man. That's all. I can't be excited.
Talk about why you like him,
bro. I think he's gonna be. I told you this. I think he has a chance to be the best receiver in the draft. Like, I honestly think he can be. I went back, and Domo, if you're listening to this is for you. I went back and watched all the production that was left on the field because Marcel Reed is the worst quarterback I've ever seen.
No, it was unavoidable. I just had to do a film breakdown on it. I'm like, boy, what is Marcel? There's like plays where the way Texas A&M structures it, one route's a man beater, one route's for cover 4, one route's for cover 3. So it's like a pretty easy progression. What shell do they get into when you snap the ball? And then go to that route, right? They make it real easy for them. Pretty basic stuff. That man did not know what to do whatsoever. Think of the LSU game. He's running like a deep end, and it's versus cover 3, which is the beater for that. And that man did the scramble around, run around, and take a sack. Like, whoo.
Man,
he's a good athlete, though. I'll give him that. He got some nice runs on tape. But, man, quarterback-wise,
he's awful, bro. He's terrible, man. He's god-awful. I don't know. We ain't got to pretend like he's not. I can't believe that Domo was pounding the table for the Browns to draft him. Went so far as to say that the Browns are not serious if they don't take Marcel Reed.
That's crazy. He said
Just
that.
saying, man. He said that.
Hey,
He said that. That is what he said, verbatim.
That's why I can't take in 100% of what he says sometimes. Like,
I'll just be like, Domo, what are you talking about, bro?
nah, that's look, we could just watch a player and enjoy him, you know, without wanting our teams to draft him.
I don't know how you could watch Marcel Reed and enjoy him.
I mean, he's a good athlete. He makes some pretty fun athletic plays. Like, yeah, there's some enjoyability there.
Okay, so Q, I want to point this out, right? I want to point this out.
He's just nasty to watch on the all 22, right? But if you watch it from broadcast, it might not look that bad.
This man, KC, had 919 yards on 61 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, he could have had like 1,200 or 1,300 yards if Marcel Reed was decent.
Yeah.
He just missing them on everything.
No, I mean, like, look,
terrible.
I'm not arguing against that. Me and you both agree what Marcel Reed is. He's a fun college quarterback, but he's not an NFL guy. You know. But I can see how if you're only watching from broadcast, you see some of those like highlight athletic plays and you go, oh, this guy's good. But then when you watch the all 22, it's like, oh, this guy's fucking abysmal. Yeah. Like,
oh man, I was like, man, this would cost you the Bolitnikov is what this is like.
It's like bad. It's like watching the Johnny Manziel all 22. When you watch that shit on broadcast, it's fun. Like, oh shit, Johnny. Then you realize he had a drag that was wide open that he just straight up ignored. That could have got him like 70 yards. And you're like, okay, he stinks. Yeah, by the way, shout out to Merrill Hodge because he took a lot of shit for being extremely correct about Johnny Manziel at the time.
Yeah,
I remember, boy, we was at Merrill Hodge's neck about being right. That's crazy.
100% right too. 100%.
He was trying to tell me, like, you don't want to draft this kid. This kid is a mess. He's not somebody who could be the face of he hating. He just don't understand the youth. All kind of dumb shit we was saying to defend Johnny Manziel.
Also, Domo, to respond to what you're saying in chat about his drop rate, I went back and I watched all 19 of his drops in college. Nothing has ever been more overblown than the drop issue that he apparently has. Like, of the 19, I think like 4 or 5 were actually like bad drops.
And drops are always a difficult one, right? Because there are some plays that like look like drops that aren't.
But they're not really drops.
Yeah. They're just like off target throw. The thing is with KC Concepcion, there's gonna be plays where you're like, hey, I would have liked him to catch that. There's gonna be that, right? Like the way he attacks the catch point sometimes is a little awkward. Sometimes he jumps when he doesn't have to. You know, there's sometimes he lets the ball get into his stomach when he doesn't have to. Stuff like that, right? Where you're gonna be like, oh, he should have caught this cleaner. Like you're gonna have some weird catch point stuff with him, but none of that outweighs his production, which is important. Like good players have flaws. You know what I mean? So like that's the thing. He's not like so bad at catching the football that he's gonna be unusable, in my opinion. Like at worst, he could be frustrating at times, or maybe he has a game where it flares up really bad, but then he has a game in a week or two that's better, right? So I wouldn't expect it to go away completely, right? But also understanding that drops happen for players in specific situations. Like with Jerry Jeudy, his issue isn't that he can't catch as much as he can't catch through contact. So if you throw him anything where anybody's touching him, it starts to become an iffy proposition, right?
He's not catching the ball. Like he's not going to.
So it's like, you know, where are those drops happening and why do those drops happen are also important. But yeah, that's
since we're talking about being able to catch through contact, you know who doesn't have that problem? KC Concepcion.
Oh,
he
both of them.
absolutely does not have that problem at all.
He can do that, right?
He can definitely do that.
And what I like about what they did with those two wide receivers is like, if you only took Casey Concepcion, I wouldn't be as high on this draft. If you only took Denzel Boston, I wouldn't be as high as this draft. But the combination of both of them makes both those picks individually much better to me. Because I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
I think they fit together really well, actually.
I think it fits together really well, too, with Jeudy and what he could do, right? Because he's going to go inside out of the slot. I think the most Jerry Jeudy has been in the slot, because like it's funny how people talk about this, right? Whenever you're like, Jerry needs to be in the slot, and they're acting like he needs to be like 100% snaps in the slot. His most successful season, he was like in the slot 30% of the time. So it's like he needs to be in the slot 30% of the time. Casey Concepcion needs to be in the slot about 60% of the time. So there's your split right there. Throw one more person in there, cool. Denzel Boston, you get 10% slot snaps or whatever it ends up being. But I think the biggest issue with Jerry Jeudy is that last year he was the only real thing that teams had the game plan against, especially in the first half of the season before Harold Fano really emerged. And he's not going to hold up. Like if Christian Gonzalez got to guard him the whole game, we just ain't going to see from Jerry Jeudy. Right. He's just not that level of wide receiver where he's going to go band for band with somebody like that. But now teams have to think about where they put their best corners, who they're going to double. You know, we're just going to open up Jerry Jeudy to be more productive, who was 1,000-yard wide receiver a couple years ago. And now that all the pressure isn't on him, I think he's going to play better. And then you got Denzel Boston to finish in the red zone. So now you're not asking guys who suck at that, Jerry Jeudy, to finish in the red zone. You're asking Denzel Boston and Harold Fano to do that. And then Casey Concepcion can help you play make, right? Get you up and down the field, get you into third and short situations or second and short situations. So the combination of those two players, I think, makes it a really great fit for what this room is. And shout out to AB, because I didn't think he would be able to get him at 39. And he just stayed pat. Balls of steel on Andrew Berry this year. Because like he got 4 guys that you would have a first round grade on without having to do anything crazy.
Yeah, he was chilling
the whole time. He did this shit all at a profit, if you really think about it, because the 24th pick he got pure profit from last year. The 9th pick, he profited a 3rd round pick from that. Only pick he took at cost was 39. That's just the Browns' regular pick. And then he traded up for Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, but he didn't pay that much of a premium. He just traded back in like the 5th round. It's kind of crazy to think he maneuvered it that well, but like this is the kind of stuff that happens where I'm like, we need to keep this motherfucker around. Okay? He is much better at making football decisions than the alternative.
Yeah, like I'm done. I'm done with the heavy criticism of Andrew. Last 2 years, he's been cooking. Like we're good.
Yeah, that's what fine. We went into a couple years ago saying, hey man, both these guys need to prove that they're good at their job. Kevin did not prove that he was good at his job, but Andrew Berry certainly did. Back against the wall again, I'm like, he cooked. Guys.
I can't get mad at anything that he's done.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Also with KC though, I think he adds a dimension of explosiveness that this offense just absolutely does not have. Like I think if anybody's going to be able to create like explosive plays on this offense, it's going to be him.
That was my whole argument for Mekhi Lemon over Carnell Tate, which you know. That's not a fun argument to have.
It's really not fun to have when he goes 4th overall.
Yeah. He goes 4th. We'll see how that works out. That's going to be fun, though. Him just like Cam Ward just like lobbing him passes. I don't know how much winning they're going to do, but that'd be at least fun to watch. But my thing is like the fit for Mekhi Lemon just makes more sense because we don't have anybody who can just like get the ball and do something with it. And that's an element to this offense we've desperately needed, especially when your quarterbacks are cheeks, which they project to be cheeks. You know what I mean? Like like we don't have the kind of quarterback play where I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna really dominate and get this spacing in the intermediate part of the field. We aren't there yet. We are at the hey man, can we get a first down? Like let's just get a first down first, and then we'll move on to the next level after that.
Yeah, like I don't want to get into the quarterback play discussion because we're trying to have a good time.
Yeah. All right. I think here's my takeaway on the quarterback room, right? This is the best thing the Browns could have done outside of like finding an answer to quarterback, because now they have no excuse. Like nobody at the end of the year is going to say the Browns did not invest in the offensive line. Or they might say it, but nobody's going to buy it that's credible. That's obvious bullshit. We can all sit here and say the Browns heavily invested in the offensive line. I think that's fair to say, right? 3 draft picks, 3 free agents, heavy investment in the offensive line.
Well, if you look at it, it's a trade because Titus Howard was a trade, and then they extended him.
And $20 million there.
They straight up signed Zion Johnson. He was the first free agent signing, I believe.
Another double-digit million
there. Elton Jenkins, I think it was 2 years, 20.
Former All-Pro.
And then obviously took Spencer Ninth and Parker Brailsford, who we'll talk about a little bit later. They took him, and like he could end up being your starter. I forgot about Austin Barber. Traded up to get Austin Barber, as a matter of fact. So yeah, they invested
6 new offensive linemen and 2 premium assets on wide receivers. They invested. So if this quarterback room is successful, cool. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out how to have more success in the future. If this quarterback room is not successful, well, we tried. We tried. We have no more questions. If you listen to Andrew Berry closely, that's exactly what he said in one of his press conferences, which is, hey, we just wanted to get a clean evaluation or something like that of the quarterbacks. It's like, yeah, this is what he's saying. They ain't got no excuse now. There's no, well, they could have done this, that. It's either you succeed or you don't.
And if you don't, thank you. Because now we don't have to pretend. We don't have to pretend like we're wrong for drafting quarterback.
We don't have to do this whole hypothetical of like, oh, if we get them better wide receivers, what it's going to look like. We have addressed those positions sufficiently so that when it comes to 2027, we can make a decision and not hesitate.
Oh, I also want to talk to you about this. So since we have 2 new receivers, we also have 2 new tight ends, but we'll get to that in a second. Since we have 2 new receivers in the room.
Oh yeah, my bad. They have 2 new receivers and they drafted 2 new 4 pass catchers.
Yeah, they've addressed both rooms. I thought it was funny, and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this in a second. But I do think it was funny how AB said that he misread the tight end, the tight end class, and how teams were valuing the tight ends. It's like,
yeah, he thought he'd be able to get Sam Roush in the 5th.
I thought they clearly wanted Oscar Doe because he went 1 pick. He went 1 pick before they picked, and when the Saints took him, they immediately traded out.
Well, the way that's been reported is that Andrew works on those trades like 3 or 4 picks ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. The optics look like that, but I don't know if that's exactly what happened. But I would say they thought that there would be more there in the 5th round than what was there. They still got Joe Royer, who I like, but I think they thought maybe Roush would be there.
I like the second tight end more than I like Royer, to be honest with you.
Oh, you like the BYU guy?
Yeah, I like him more than I like Royer.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're both day 3 tight ends. We'll see if one or either of them. Yeah, we'll see if one or either of them are good. But when you're looking at the wide receiver room now, 2 new guys in, which means somebody's have to go.
Somebody brings up a great point here. The way this city hates DePodesta, I don't understand. But because even Mac was trying to talk me into this, and they were like, "Oh, the way the process hasn't changed, the resources have. Why do fans keep blaming Depot for the past drafts?" And it's like I saw Dennis talking about it. I'm just like, I don't think DePodesta was that involved, y'all. Like,
but you know what? Realistically,
they're still doing the same stuff they've always done. They just got first round picks now.
Realistically, I don't think it's different. But who cares? It's also, like, especially if you're Andrew Berry, who gives a fuck? Yeah, it's just good for your PR.
Sure. But I do think, though, the one thing we need to watch out for is the real correlation here is when Kwesi left and where Kwesi has been. Okay. Like, his worst draft was 22 and 21. I think we can all agree on that. 20 was not that bad. 21, 22, rough. Those some rough drafts.
Rough drafts.
Those are the drafts that Kwesi was here for. And Kwesi went to Minnesota and had 2 back-to-back flops at the draft. Well, no, 3 back-to-back flops.
Mm-hmm.
Then he takes a job in San Francisco, and it don't sound like they're happy about the draft either.
Look, man.
That's the one where I'm like, hey, man, we could blame this on DePodesta, but I think swapping him out with Catherine Hickman, probably one of the better things that they've done because clear difference. Like,
nah, we was in spaces. Like, hey, man, shout out Catherine, bro. Because ever since she's been here, the draft's been so much better.
They've been way better. They've been immediately. I like that 23 draft versus 22. I'm like, it's so much of an improvement. The UDFA class, they get like 2 starters out that UDFA class.
People were like, it's like, what happens when somebody tries to hire me for a job? I was like, I don't think we got to worry about that no time soon, you know. I think we go be all right. Look, it's unfortunate, but it might benefit us.
It's unfortunate, but I think AB calculated that into the equation. Okay. It's more likely that Catherine gets the job because Andrew gets a promotion. Like, that's probably the most likely way is that it goes. But yeah, because like Glenn Cook been there the whole time. He's been there for John Dorsey as well, right? Like, he's been with the organization since like 2018. But yeah, somebody's arrival and somebody's departure kind of directly correlates with the success rate in the draft. And it's not DePodesta. Everybody wants to put it on Depot. I don't understand it. That man was not that important to like day-to-day operations. Nobody's letting it go. Whatever, man. Like, I think it's pretty clear Depot wasn't involved. But Kwesi, we know he was involved in the draft. Like,
they were bad, bro. They were bad.
Like, he leaves, has 2 of the worst drafts we've ever seen when he's in charge, and nobody points back to that. That's the part that fascinates me. I'm like, wow, nobody's gonna say that seems curious right there.
We don't like to speak. We don't like to speak ill of black men on here.
Okay,
but
Cleveland media has a problem doing this. The really big show has an issue with this.
Hey, man, listen, I'm not about to argue with it. I'm not about to be like, kill that black man for what he was doing. I'm not about to do that.
Bro.
I'm not about to do that.
Kwesi owes DePodesta a dinner. Okay. Because he took the blame for some terrible. Hey, also, some of the worst picks that Andrew Berry has made directly correlate to something that the coaching staff really wanted.
Jack Duffin made this point on Twitter. He was like, hey, man, I think a big part of why the drafts are better is because he took power back from the coaching staff. Like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
Anthony Schwartz, who wanted that one to work? I don't know. Maybe the guy who did not want to stop giving him snaps. There used to be a narrative that AB was forcing these players on Kevin, and that just was not true.
No, I can't believe people believe that.
The Siaki Ika pick,
Come on, man.
Bro, Jim Schwartz, you are never beating the allegations on that.
We're just burning third round picks every year. Trying to make
You're
Kevin
never
happy.
beating the allegations on that, Jim Schwartz. I'm sorry. Just never, ever, bro. By the way, you think Jim Schwartz likes to pick a Spencer Fano? Something tells me he does.
I bet you he does. Bet you he does.
Yeah, well, you mean you got to. Every defensive tackle that's Hawaiian, and that man see Haloti Nada every time. Is that your cousin? It'd be like the WWE with The Rock, where everybody related to the fucking Rock in the bloodline is like, oh yeah, you know, Nia Jackson's third removed second cousin of The Rock. It's like, okay, feel like we worked really hard for that one. The Rock is his great uncle.
Also, I know we're gonna talk about him later, but how you think Dylan felt when they took Taylor Green?
That's a hilarious juxtaposition.
I was like, oh, you have to know they're getting
the
rid of you.
pictures that are going to surface of Taylor Green and Dylan Gabriel standing next to each other.
6'5" Taylor Green and 5'11".
6'6" Cole.
Oh, he's 6'6"? I thought he was 6'5".
6 Cole. 34-inch arms, Cole. You ever look? Go Google Taylor Green mock draftable. They have these pie charts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like it's insane, bro.
It's 99 percentile athlete.
It's nuts.
You guys make fun of like Nick Harbor and talk about he's costing the family millions by not playing edge. No, Taylor Green is like
Taylor Green needs to be a receiver, bro. I'm sorry.
No, he don't need to be a receiver. 34, he got 35-inch arms at 6'6", 266, and he got a 1.55-10 split Cole.
He's not 266. He's 220.
227. I said he's 6'6", 227 with 35-inch arms. That sounds like a pass rusher to me. With 30 more pounds and a 1.55 split.
I saw Ahmad put his RAS score right next to Calvin Johnson. It looked exactly the same. Oh, I was like, brother, you missed your calling.
43-inch vertical. He could play wing for the Cavs today.
He could. Legitimately, he could.
35-inch arms. What's his wingspan? Did they get his wingspan? They didn't get his wingspan, but I would imagine 35 inches, both sides. That's what, close to 7 feet.
All his like QB comparisons. His QB comparisons on here on Mock Draftable are just it's all over the spectrum, bro. And Anthony Richardson, of course. Cam Newton's in here, Justin Herbert's in here, Desmond Ritter's in here.
By the way, Tony Grossi about to fall in love.
Oh yeah, so does he see him? As soon as he see him.
Yeah, he's about to fall. Well, he looks apart. You know what it reminds me of? There was a quarterback from Arkansas not too long. He was a 3rd round pick. What was his name? He played for the Ravens. He played for the Patriots. Big arm. I think he died relatively young.
I can't think.
Not Brock Osweiler. Let me look it up. But it kind of reminds me of that archetype where it's like, boy, if he could ever get it together, right?
You mean Ryan Mallett?
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah, Ryan Mallett. He was like 6'8" almost, right?
He was 6'6", 250.
Ooh. Now he wasn't a good athlete.
No, he wasn't this kind of athlete. He wasn't this kind of athlete. He had an arm on him.
He had an arm on him. He had a cannon, right? So he was trying to do it.
Oh man. Hey man, like if you look at when you look at Taylor, you like, man, if we could just figure this out. If we could just figure it out, man. I don't know if it'll ever be
23.
He's 23. Yeah, if we could just make you an average passer of the ball, we could we could do something here.
Yeah. My big thing with him is like, how do you not dominate at Boise State when you have that much of an athletic advantage on everybody that you play football against?
And like his stats at Arkansas weren't bad, but like I just feel like you should be able. Yeah, you should be able to do more.
You know what I mean? Like, ultimately, I think that's the thing that you got to get over with him is that there's a lot of football you have to teach him. I view this pick like, you bought a nice car, a nice junker, and you're going to throw it in your garage, and you're going to work on it on the weekends. And maybe it turns into something, maybe it doesn't. I'm going to get you something to do. This is something to do for the Browns quarterback coach.
And like, hey man, maybe it works out in a miracle type fashion.
I mean, it working out can be on multiple levels too. This could work out in like you trade Taylor Green like it worked out for the Patriots with Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And just trade him for like a pick and get a pick back. So that's kind of how Andrew views quarterback. Even if he's not going to play him, he thinks he can flip him because he's always been able to flip him. So it's not an asset that he takes at a loss. You know what I mean?
And this is the 6th round pick. Like,
and someone said he spent time with Maddox Madison. Yeah, that's a concern. He's most certainly not like in the running to play this year.
Like he should be at least. Absolutely not.
You throw him in the background. You work on him, see what happens.
Maybe we get a miracle and it works out, but I doubt it.
Or maybe in a couple of years he decides that he does want to stay in the league and play a different position, and then now he's returning kicks.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. They posted his they posted his RAS on Twitter. First thing I did was quote it with Bill Polian. I'm like, son, we gonna get you catching that football one way or another. I promise. we ain't gonna.
Well, is he twitchy? I don't think he's twitchy though. That's the thing when people like want to throw him at wide receiver. I'm like, I don't think he doesn't seem like he has fluid hips.
We gonna see.
I think he need to rush that passer. That's what I think his future is. He need to put his hand in that dirt, rush that passer. You know what I mean? You can't be a quarterback. You can get the quarterback. That's what you can do.
Yeah, we're just gonna put 50 pounds on him. It's like, you know what?
No, you don't even need to put 50 on him. At that athletic, you can put like 257. You can work when you that long and like I'm assuming strong.
That's still about 30 pounds though. That's still about 30.
Yeah, I mean, that's what catering for.
That's what catering for.
Yeah, eat your chicken breast. You know what I mean? You got to put in that work. It's been done before. It's certainly been done before.
Going from QB to DN has it been done before?
Actually has been done before, but yeah, it can be done. I think one of the head coaching candidates that the Browns are going to bring in wasn't Grant. Grant went from like playing defensive end to being a quarterback's coach.
Maybe.
Yeah. It can be done.
We'll see.
It certainly can be done. You know what I mean?
We'll let him try this quarterback thing out first, I guess.
Yeah, let him try it out. But he got 35-inch R's, brother. Like he ain't gonna play offensive line.
They were saying his release is so like weird because it's so elongated.
Yeah. I had no idea he was 6'6", and I saw him at the Senior Bowl because his arms are so long. Like he could touch the ground with his arms. He got Anthony Davis arms. Like you ever see Anthony Davis in real life? You like, what the fuck is going on here? Like I remember one video of Anthony Davis standing up at the press conference, and you're like, yo, his arms don't start. Like, where are his hands? It's his arms.
Bro, Taylor low-key should play basketball.
But he must not have a jumper. If he had a jumper, he'd be hooping.
Because this is like, bro, you 6'6", 40+ inch vertical, 35-inch arms. You could play on the wing for the Cavs today.
He must not got a jumper because we've seen what his accuracy looks like at times.
What is he like? 60%?
I mean, like, I don't know what his completion percentage is, but I've seen some of his throws. I don't think he can shoot. I'll put it like that. And it probably says that he's not that twitchy, which is probably why wide receiver's probably not going to work. It's probably tight end or put their hand in that dirt, brother.
Hey, him and tight end would be nasty, though.
Now, that's the move, right? Because you ain't got to be super twitchy to be that. You got to kind of be smart, sit in some zone coverage, and then you have the yak ability. Or if you want to get paid, Taylor Green sound like a pass rusher to me. Learn how to learn from the best. Myles Garrett is right there.
Sound like a pass rusher to me.
Hey. Yeah, his mock draftable comparisons, I'm on the website right now. Anthony Richardson, Justin Herbert, Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota, Robert Griffin, Andrew Luck. If that man could throw a football at any respectable level, he would have been a second round draft pick.
Easily.
Like, oh my goodness. What was Terrell Pryor? He was like a third round comp, right?
I think he was, because he was supplemental.
Right?
Yeah, he was supplemental. Man, that's just we'll see. Listen, man, we'll see what Todd can get out of him. If he can get anything out of him. We'll see if Todd can get something out of him.
Todd gonna have that motherfucking RPOs. That's what the long arms gonna be used for, is RPOs in the
hey, bro,
in the red zone.
Hey, third short. Third short. We got a weapon.
It is gonna be interesting to see how they react to how certain fans react to it, because like remember last year when they brought in Quinshon in the end zone and they were like, he's trying to take away touchdowns from Shador. I wonder if they're gonna still do this with Todd, because they fuck with Todd. So I wonder if like the reaction is gonna be different. It's like, oh no, that's smart. Or if that's the bridge too far that breaks it.
Especially if Taylor's good in the red zone too.
They'd be like, man, Taylor Green got 12 of Shador's touchdowns. They're gonna try to add the Taylor Green touchdowns.
It's like, why are we always giving Taylor the ball in the red zone? It's like because he keeps scoring. Like, what are we supposed to do?
Because right now they so happy Kevin gone, which fair, right? Kevin needed to be gone after a couple years. They so happy Kevin gone that like they are in bliss with Todd. But I wonder what's the bridge too far moment. Like, I wonder what happens to break that trust, right, with Todd, because he might have an end zone package for Taylor. Hey, we know who's doing the quarterback.
Ain't no might. He absolutely is gonna have an end zone.
We know who's doing the quarterback sneaks.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Hey, bro, in real talk, can he hold kicks? Because I got some trick plays I can think of.
If he can hold kicks, oh man,
right there.
You always got to be worried. Always got to be worried.
Oh yeah. Flare that safety out, brother. Take that safety off the line of scrimmage. Yeah, you're not rushing my kicker. You rush that kicker, we pick up that ball, and that man throws that over your offensive line. Jump pass, Tim Tebow style. Right there.
No, but we definitely got to talk about the best, I think, probably the best pick of their draft class. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren.
Yeah.
Easily the best pick of the draft class. I cannot believe
they got to go all the way. Unbelievable. By the way, Andrew was going to wait until the price was right for the trade. I appreciate that. He don't panic, man. Like, he really just sat in there, was like, I'm going to get him at 56. What did he get him? 58?
I think it was 50. I want to say, I was thinking it's 55. Hold on. Let me see. Wait, what we do, Warren. Can I find the pick? Round 2, pick 26. So that's what, 58?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 58.
Yeah, it's an excellent selection. There's no way around it. It's an excellent selection. This is a physical football player. Somebody he could get a little bit better in man coverage, but his own coverage ability very strong, hard hitter. Now you have on each level to your young nucleus on defense, right? You got Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at the top. You got Carson Schlesinger in the middle. On the line, you got Mason Graham. So not only do you have a defense that's going to be good today, but a defense is built to last. We're not going to say, oh, man, if we lose Miles, once Miles and Denzel retire, we got nothing. I think we're going to be pretty set there to replenish and reload if those guys aren't on the Browns much longer. And when it comes to Denzel Ward's case, age is becoming a factor. The same thing with Miles. It's like, hey, it's going to be really determined on like where the quarterback outlook is for this team. Because if they get good soon, this whole the whole Myles Garrett the last 2 years thing, it kind of fades into the background, like the Kobe wanting to be traded from the Lakers thing, which was very real. But then they got Powell, and then he was happy to be a Laker again, right? Like the Browns figure out quarterback, Miles going to stay. But if they don't have an answer or they're not competitive soon, then they're going to have an issue, But certainly something to figure out there. And I already see people like, oh, we don't need a Brendan Sorsby. We got to have an open mind about what the quarterback solution could be this year is all I'm going to say. Because this team is not going to be able to get Arch Manning. Okay? Like, if the draft, before the draft, I didn't feel it. I definitely don't feel it now that we're going to be that bad. So,
yeah, they would have to trade up for Arch. They have to trade up for Arch.
And who is going to trade back?
Nobody's trading that pick.
Who's going to be the team that voluntarily trades a Manning? Yeah, we got to start shopping. Somebody bring it up. Maybe Darian Manson. I don't know if Darian Manson ends up there at the end of the season. We'll see what his testing looks like and what he plays like this year. But you're gonna have to come down from your Arch Manning dreams. We not shopping there. That's not that we can't do that. But maybe we could get something good somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah, we got to start shopping for maybe Dante, maybe CJ Carr.
If people are like, oh, well, the quarterback room is still bad. I'm like, I don't care how bad you think this quarterback room is, man. If Spencer Fano can run block, like the offense has juice like that. Remember how good Quinshaw was last year with no line? You've given him an all-pro. You've given him a great rub blocker, Titus Howard. You've given him an athletic left tackle and then an athletic guard. With a coaching staff that has done nothing but produce the best rushing offenses over the last 2 years.
Yeah, man. It's plus they have an easy ass schedule. Bro.
We talking so much about quarterback. Quarterback's not going to be the most important part to this team this year, right? Like I think somebody was like, "Well, could the quarterback room get Todd fired?" The quarterback room has no expectations this year. They don't care if it succeeds or fails. Well, they care, but they're not going to fire off of that. What will get people fired is if the run game is cheeks again. That's what's important.
And it's not going to be bad this year.
Yeah,
it's not going to be bad.
Quarterback, they're going to try to limit the impact of the quarterback position. Give you good options when you're out there.
Over under 20 let's say the over under's 20 and a half pass attempts a game for the Cleveland Browns.
They're gonna be over 20. They're gonna be over
20. Are you sure?
I would say they're gonna be about 20. They're gonna average somewhere around like 27 to 31.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That 30's not a lot.
30's not a lot, but I don't think we're gonna get it.
I think they're gonna want to, because like they're gonna use the passing game as an extension of the run game. So there's gonna be like some jump passes, a lot of screens. Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna like 10 of them passes are gonna be behind a line of scrimmage.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, like Casey Concepcion about to take some shit from behind the line of scrimmage. Trust them, they're gonna give Denzel Boston some screens because he's pretty physical after the catch too. Harold Fannin, it's gonna be a lot of stuff like that, because that's part of why you want your O-line to be athletic, so they're in control, so you can kind of like run kind of those tunnel screens too to your tight ends and stuff like that. So yeah, they're gonna throw the ball about 30 times. How many of those will be downfield? That's a bigger debate. But they're going to throw that ball 30 times. It's just that Dylan Sampson, he got to get involved, right?
The Browns got some they got a little explosion on here. You know what I'm saying? They got a little explosion on the roster.
They got something cooking a little bit here. You know what I mean?
A little bit. Just got to get somebody to
and this is why I like this draft so much. If you're trying to do the Sam Darnold thing, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Right? You got to make it easy to play quarterback for your team. If you're trying to, revive somebody's career, which you might have to do, if you're trying to do the Bo Nix thing and maybe, I'm piss Corey off by saying this. Like maybe Julian Sane is your guy next year, right? Or something like that. I know how people feel about it. Right. Well, let's say Julian Sane is your guy next year, or maybe it's who else you could throw out there? That's
Lenore Sellers,
Sam Levitt. Levitt's kind of in that mode.
I guess you could say Levitt.
Levitt's not terrible. Yeah, I would say
he's all right. He's fine.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going for. That's exactly he's all right. Right? Like let's say Sam Levitt is your guy, right? That you could get your hands on. Do you have something that he could be successful in if it comes to that point, right? Or maybe Shador is just all right enough to be able to figure that out, right? That's kind of where you want to be at, is you want to be a landing spot for a place to be able to find a quarterback. Hey, if let's say Curtis's guy, Mr. Herbo, decides he's done with the Chargers.
I don't wish that upon anyone.
And we go out grab him, or CJ Stroud and the Texans go to an impasse. Maybe you want to see what's up with that. Now, be a hard sell to get Browns fans to get in on another Texans quarterback.
I'm good. I'm okay.
But this guy doesn't come with 30 cases of sexual assault and harassment, and he's a Buckeye, so he stands a chance. There will be a CJ Stroud hive in Cleveland. There was not one for Deshaun Watson.
I'm not doing any deal with the Houston Texans for a quarterback. Yeah, absolutely not.
Just off principle?
Nope, never again.
This has become your Alabama tackle?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. We're okay. We are okay. I'd rather put my wrist up.
It's funny when people find out I went to school at YSU and they're like, if he played at YSU, you'd be stomping for him. I'm like, when have I ever stomped for the Browns to draft a YSU player? When have I ever pounded the table?
You've never done it, because if you would have, I'd have been like, man, if you don't get that shit out of here.
I did say I wanted the Browns to get Jaleel McLaughlin as a UDFA, which I was fucking right about. He turned out to be an NFL caliber player.
You were right about that. You were right about that.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, man, this random guy from YSU, we need to draft him. Like, hey, I love my college, but like, not like that. Not going to set somebody up to fail. I'm not sitting here telling y'all we need to draft Bo Brungard next year. No, he's 5'10". Like, I thought he should have transferred out and played wide receiver like this year. But yeah, I think this is why this draft is important. It sets you up to be a good landing spot for quarterbacks in the future, but also it allows you to evaluate what you have in the quarterback room, so we can no longer have any questions. This is the final season of this fucking run of this quarterback room. And I want to be clear what I'm referring to. It's the final season of Deshaun Watson in this horrid era of quarterback play that we have lived through and everything that has been associated with it. No more questions after this. We're going to get a definitive finale on this. Or God
Can't
forbid.
wait. God forbid. We are ending this podcast if they extend Sean Watson. There's no reason to talk about this team anymore.
I'll have to replace you with Mike.
It's like, I'm good. I don't want to talk about this football team one more second. I'm good.
Mike just emerges from the shadows laughing, rubbing his hands like Birdman. Told y'all. Just saying. Every tweet he says about Deshaun Watson, you can literally see this man go, I'm just saying, like right after he tweets it.
When he pops up on the pod in a Deshaun Watson jersey, I'll be like, I told y'all we should have just ended the pod. That's all. Someone said strictly in Atlanta Dream podcast. We're gonna pivot so hard.
No, at that point, we just gonna do lifestyles. Like, we gonna be on here. Dinner with Jay-Z. Like, fellas, should you tip? Like,
oh, we doing that. We going there.
Yeah, we gonna go full Twitter. We gonna be out here. Fellas, is it simping to pay for a night out with your girl? Is it gay to eat breakfast?
Is it gay to eat breakfast?
Hey, yo, pause. Hey, it's a whole podcast.
Oh, God.
Hey, yo.
Someone said red pill Q.
50-50.
God, I'll be the worst. It'd be absolute worst. No, but seriously, how did you feel about the Austin Barber pick? Because that was the one pick where I was just kind of like,
I don't know what to do with that one. I gotta watch more Austin Barber. You know, I'm downloading this stuff from the Senior Bowl. He didn't really stand out to me at the Senior Bowl. From what I've watched so far, he seems to struggle with his anchor. My whole thing is it seems like a project for the offensive line coach. We'll see what it does there. I do wonder what this means for DeJuan, though. I think
it puts. Wow, you think it's that? You think it's that deep?
It's not third down, but hearing them bells.
My thing is this:
how are they gonna roster all these tackles?
So how many tackles? So four. It's 4 tackles, right? So it's 4 tackles.
I need that on the soundboard. Yeah,
we definitely need the saxophones on the soundboard.
He hear them boys in the hood saxophones. Because hey man, he's gonna play tackle. Like I play tackle. Like hold on, they drafted 2 of my position.
So they said that you need to use the deep voice.
Don't buy. Hey.
The thing about the saxophones is that when I was at my job the other day, I was walking in and someone behind me was walking in and my boss was standing right at the door. He started playing the saxophones for that other person. I'm like, oh, you might be cooked, bro. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like,
who's going to be the first team to overreach with that meme and play them saxophones on the last day of camp?
Probably the Browns.
Marty Thrash out there dropping passes, and all you hear is doom, doom.
Hey, we skipped past it, but I was like, hey, 2 new receivers in? Somebody's cooked, dog.
Dylan drafted Taylor Green. Dylan Gabriel start hearing that saxophone go crazy. Like what the fuck? It's louder.
could barely hear
I know
it.
Dylan.
You could barely hear it. I know that's how the wide receiver room is right now. It's like, y'all hear that?
Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Oh shit. No, DeWan Jones had to be hearing them saxophones. Cedric Tillman. Oh man, Cedric Tillman. He's hearing them saxophones.
Oh yeah, it's over with Cedric too. Somebody said Corley. I think Corley's relatively safe.
Corley's
Hello. Billy Gabriel at the crib. He's just sitting. And with the 6th round pick, the Cleveland Browns select Taylor Green, quarterback, Arkansas. Well, maybe he playing there. Andrew Berry at the press conference. He's definitely playing quarterback. Yo, why my phone ringing? Yo, why my phone ringing? why Cleveland calling? hey, we need an Omar Khan. Makai Levin, man, we can't wait to bring you on. We can't wait to make you a Steeler. And the coach that Makai, you still there? Makai, you still there?
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
Philadelphia. What are you talking about, Philadelphia? Hey, yo, he just hung up. Call him back. Call him back. McFly. McFly.
What is that sound?
Yo, turn the TV up. Hey, I know that shit hit crazy in the Steelers draft room because you know they had to. They was like, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, turn the TV up just like a fucking movie. They had to turn up the volume to find out.
Oh, man.
Oh,
God.
oh man. Oh, those saxophones.
Put the saxophones on the soundboard. We're gonna need that in camp.
Hey.
We gonna need that.
Hey, by the way, a transition. You know who else heard this? About 5 minutes left in that game. James Harden, Evan Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell was like, yo, why I'm hearing boss music right now? Yo, is Scotty Barnes leveling up on us right now? Wait a minute. Why can't we dribble the ball all of a sudden?
Do we have to talk about them?
Boy, they got 2 games to show us what they made of, or else it's they got that. I won't make any definitive statements yet, but the thing I thought that was the most disgusting against that game, the same thing that happened at the end of the second quarter, happened at the end of the third quarter, and at the end of the fourth quarter. The Cavs were pushing that lead out to like 8 or 9, getting comfortable. And what the Raptors do at the end of the second, they rush back. They finish the quarter better than us. They get a 3 at the end of the at the buzzer. They take the lead at halftime. Third quarter, same thing going. We like, okay, we about to push this thing out to 10. We're getting there. And then what happens? They dart back. They tie the game up. Fourth quarter, what happens? Push that lead up to 9. We're easing out. James Harden making some big threes. Sam Merrill made one. We like, all right, we good. And then we start getting out hustled at the end of the fourth quarter. It's one thing to lose that way in a vacuum. It's a whole nother thing to lose that way after you lost that way to the Pacers and after you lost that way to the Knicks. So for a team that truly cannot afford it, this is not a joke for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, if you do not win in the playoffs this year, it's over, dog. They're just going to call you Tracy McGrady that went to the second round. Okay? Like, if James Harden doesn't get to the finals this year, it's over, James. Like, it's done with. Evan Mobley, if you can't outplay Scotty Barnes in the next 2 games, you're going to let those Canadian motherfuckers win. Okay?
I've never been more disappointed than I was at Evan, dog. Because like those first 2 games, he was hooping crazy, and then the last 2, he is just god awful. Just the worst, the worst basketball I've seen him play.
Yeah, it's we'll see what they look like when they come back home, but they certainly need a good game on the road before.
Are they playing today?
No, they play tomorrow, right?
I think it's tomorrow. Hold on, let me see.
They play tomorrow.
Yeah, because they get the travel day.
They get the travel day, man. You know what's the craziest part about it? The Pistons are about to lose in the first round. We're not even going to be able to. Yeah, we're not even going to be able to enjoy it.
Hey man, we win game 5 and we win game 6. We can then start to laugh.
like you can't even enjoy it.
Yeah, but that's what's on the line for them. They got to show that they aren't that team for the next 2 games. They got to wrap this up in 6. They can't get out this series and not win a game in Toronto. You know, that can't be what this is. So they got to win these next 2 games.
It's just so it was just so disappointing watching that last game.
Yeah,
it was so disappointing. And Donovan, can I say something about Donovan?
Let's say it.
Can I say something about Donovan? I've never seen somebody get away with not passing the basketball to his open teammates as much as he does,
especially in the playoffs.
And I say this as somebody whose favorite player is Kobe Bryant, and I know people call Kobe a ball hog and all this other stuff, but when it was the playoffs and they was trying to win, he would pass to whoever was open, especially if it was Pau Gasol, Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom, Andrew, whoever it was, he would do it.
Well, it's weird too because there are times where he's at the cup and you're like, just finish that, and then he tries to pass out of it.
And there's other times where his teammates, specifically Evan Mobley, are wide open next to the basket. Mm-hmm. And he simply will not pass.
I think he's thinking way too much. Right? There's a normal flow to Donovan's game that's not there right now. I think he's overthinking it. I think he just needs to get out there and play some basketball. And this happens with James Harden too, right? Like this is why James has these big turnover games in important series. But now you're at that point to where you didn't want to be with James, where it's like, James gonna have to play in an elimination game, like an important one. This is where you get nervous, right? The Raptors have you where they want you, and it kind of started in the second quarter of game 2. The Cavs were just making such incredible shots in that game that they didn't notice it. But like, if they don't have an amazing Donovan Mitchell, James Harden performance, Evan Mobley performance in that game, they're probably just like the Pistons down 3-1 right now. So right now, they got to focus on these next 2 games, and they got to show us who they're going to be, because this is going to determine whether they tear this whole thing down, how they come out these next 2 games. Because even if you limp out this series and maybe be like you go out and you play in the next round the Magic, nobody feels confident about that right now, but you could get past the Magic still, But you get smacked in the Eastern Conference Finals by the Celtics, you get swept. It's not going to hit. It's not going to be where anybody wants it to be. And people are probably going to be moved on from. So if you got it, now's the time to go for it. Playoffs have began for the Cavs, right? Like, this ain't like last year where that shit didn't begin to the Pacers series. The playoffs are here. Congratulations.
Yeah, I would like to see y'all lock in, please.
Hooper not. Show us who you are right now, because that's what it is. Like,
this is the end of it. Like, this is the end of this. Like, there's not going to be any more excuses. There's not going to be any like it's over if you guys lose.
Yeah, like LeBron on the free throw line, knowing the legacy's on the line. Like, it's all on the line here for everybody involved. How you play in this series is going to permanently impact how Donovan Mitchell is viewed, how Evan Mobley is viewed, how James Harden is viewed. Well, I mean, like, With James, it's less of an impact because his perception is pretty much written. But this is the last opportunity for James to change that.
Yeah, it's all bad, man. It's all bad for the Cavs, unfortunately.
And look, to be fair though, like there's been some, like I remember 2018, I felt pretty bad when the Cavs let the Pacers tie it up to 2-2. Mm-hmm. So like,
then I realized how bad that roster was. It was so flawed. That roster was so
Rodney
flawed.
Hood, yeah. Well, we started to learn that during that series, right? So right now it's just 2-2. You're not down 3-1 like the Pistons, so you have an opportunity to clean this up.
Course correct, yeah.
Take it. Better take it. I better see a team for the next 2 games that's not fucking around. like I remember watching. This was when I was in college, right? My friend was a Bengals fan, and he was like talking shit all day because I think it was Thursday Night Football about how the Bengals were going to beat the Patriots. And then the game started. And it was very clear that the Patriots were taking this game it was the we're on the Cincinnati game because like the Patriots had a couple of losses that were like embarrassing. And Bill was like, we're on to Cincinnati, right? And he was like, we're going to get them. We're going to get the Patriots. I think halfway through the second quarter, it was silent because it was just ass whooping. And then all you hear is my friend from Cincinnati go, damn, these motherfuckers showed up for real. That's what the Cavs need to do. Like, okay, fun's over. Lean forward in the gaming chair, and let's lock in and get out of here. You know what I mean?
James said this about like the reset. If they were doing something we didn't understand or couldn't control, then it'd be a different conversation. But I think everything we're doing is self-inflicted.
Fix it.
I agree with it. I agree with it.
Then fix it.
Too.
Some of it's James.
I'm gonna be real with you, bro. They shot like 32% from the field and beat y'all.
They shot 12% from 3.
Like, how does that happen?
Ray Rack said, let's make this fucking clear. The Raptors shot 32% from the field, 13% from 3, 75% from the line. You didn't kick their ass. Well, they couldn't shoot either. No one can shoot. It was like,
yeah, but we were like at 27. They were at 13.
and this is the thing. They did that at home. Like they can't score. Like they can't score, bro. They can't. They literally can't do it. And y'all lost. That's terrible.
Yeah, they got to figure it out. Donovan Mitchell going to have one of those like 40-point games where he don't shoot no threes. And also like at some point, well, he started making them late, so I ain't going to be too critical. Like,
no, you should be critical. He was 6 for 24 from the floor last game. You could be critical.
But he got 10 in the fourth. It's just they got to figure out. You know what kind of bothers me
about Donovan Mitchell? I'm kind of sick of him never getting the flack that he deserves.
I think the flack is certainly out there.
And I feel like he hasn't been getting the flack until recently because people were like, hey, how come we don't never talk about what he's doing? Like, or what he's not doing?
I think since like there was a lot of flack. He didn't get a lot of flack after the New York series because a lot of it was focused on like Jarrett and Darius, even though I thought Donovan underperformed the most. I mean, we've talked about it on this show. His 3-point shooting in the playoffs has been not impressive since 2022. Right? It's going all the way back to Utah. And people have tagged him with the playoff loser stuff, right? Like that is certainly something that he walks around with. But it's going to start getting real for him if he don't win in this playoffs here. You know, that's what's on the line for him. He kind of gets a little bit of benefit of the doubt for being in Utah that whole time. Rudy Gobert being his like second best scorer. Like there's stuff that he kind of gets a pass on. But if he can't do it this year, and then people are gonna start noticing in a different way than they have before. And the same goes for Evan Mobley, right? Like,
so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in him.
Yeah. So, hey, man, you can have 2 bad games in the playoffs. You just got to finish when it matters. So just finish when it matters. I ain't going to trip too much if you finish this in 6. At the end of the day, it's 4-5 matchup. It's supposed to go 6. But you got to finish this shit in 6.
Gotta finish the shit at 6. Got to.
I don't want to overreact, but it's been a bad 2 games in Toronto. And I'm going to need y'all to turn it up in Toronto, too. If you have a blowout in you, like game 5 probably going to be close as fuck. Let's be real. Okay? That's going to be a closely contested game. If you win game 5, you need to blow them out in game 6. Or just get out in game 6. Maybe I'm asking for too much. They got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. Because it's not like the challenges they're facing right now are going to be any different if they get to the second round with Orlando. Who low-key probably should have been the 5 seed.
Low-key, they probably should have been the 5 seed.
By the way, we have an apology to give to the East. We talk shit about how all these playoff series were not going to be that interesting, and immediately I think did the 76ers win? And then the 76ers won. The Orlando Magic took command of the series. The Cavs dropped 2 games. And then what else? What other series is going on?
The Knicks are in a little bit of
Oh yeah, the Knicks are 2-2, right?
Yeah.
Is it 2-2 or is it 3-1?
Yeah, they won one in New York and one in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I mean, as much as we can shit on the Cavs, man, it's happening to everybody else too. like you got to get out of there in 6, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
But hey, man,
the Pistons dropping it as a 60-win team, losing the first round. Ooh, that's gonna be rough.
Boy, that was my nightmare last year. They are living my nightmare from last. Because I was like, man, I could deal with a lot. I can't Dirk it. You know what I mean? Like I can't do the Dirk.
I can't do the Dirk.
Yeah, I can't do the Dirk, man. Like the Dirk
can't fall to you. You can't fall to your knees when the law came. That's crazy.
Nah, not that Dirk. Yo, don't even know his history. Thought I was talking about Dirk with the U. We're talking about the 1 seed, Curtis. How you thinking about drill rap right now?
I have no idea. It just came to my head.
That's why this podcast gets off the rails so much.
Say you fell to your knees when the law came.
Like what?
Oh man, we needed that laugh, Curtis. Thank you. We needed that for real.
Well, yeah, man. Like getting beat 3, like if they get beaten 5 as a 60+ win team. Whoo.
I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with that, man. I don't know what you can do with that.
We're going to be on Cade Cunningham watch. Is he going to get traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Hey, I'm not going to lie. If I shouldn't even say when they lose, I wouldn't be surprised if he asked for a trade.
Hey, bro.
Because they don't put him through some shit since he been there.
That's got to be because they've been through so much, man. I feel bad for JB.
I don't know if I feel bad for JB. I do feel bad for JB. I feel bad.
I mean, like, bro, this is rough. You just finally thought you was finally about to get your shit, and this happening to you. Whew.
Yeah, it's something, man. I don't really know. It's something.
Hey, bro. It's rough.
It's a rough one, JB.
Hey, to Golden State for Draymond Green type shit.
It's not gonna be that rough. It's not gonna be that rough, but man,
you never know, man.
What can you even say? Like, what can you even say about that? Like, if you lose to an AC that's a 60-win team, that is like historically bad.
bro. If you lose the AC, if you lose in 5 games to the fucking 1 seed, like what do you do there?
Especially when the Cavs, and to give the Cavs some credit, they played the 1 seed last year, and it was a historic sweep.
Yeah.
And that was the first year with you going.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh man, come on, JB, come on, bro. You got to figure something out. You got to make something happen.
Well, like to be fair to JB, bro, he's doing a lot with that roster. Like he's kind of a victim of his own success because there's no way that roster should have been a 60 team.
No, and I was talking to my boss about this earlier. It really just proves to you that the regular season does not matter.
That's unfortunate because like I like watching regular season basketball,
but it doesn't like it's proof it doesn't matter.
Well, I think you got to pay attention to how teams win. I don't think the whole thing doesn't matter because like the Oklahoma City have been dominant in the regular season and that dominance has translated to the playoffs, right? You have to pay attention to how teams are winning in the regular season. And that's the thing with Detroit. They're not winning because they're dominant. They're winning because they were playing harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
So, like,
and
I don't want to
say
say
a bad thing. That's not a bad thing that you play harder than everybody else, but that has a ceiling on what you can actually do in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like this is the Tom Thibodeau ceiling, right? Like this is what Thibodeau has been known for, been doing, and having his teams outperform, and then those teams usually crash in the playoffs.
To defend Tibbs,
first round, but you know,
to defend Tibbs a little bit, he did get them to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and they might lose the first round.
We're replacing Tom Thibodeau because he can't get over the hump with the most notorious can't get over the hump coach of all time. It's just a choice. Like, what's next? You want to hire Doc Rivers?
Doc got over the hump.
We could laugh, but it's like, yeah, that feel like what they about to do next. Doc got over the hump one time and then proceeded to not get over the hump for the next 25 years. Okay. Like his whole legacy is not getting what the Clippers, the whole legacy is not getting over the hump, letting the Golden State Warriors pass the hump by.
Yeah, just not getting over the hump.
The Philadelphia 76ers while he was there. He didn't even get Milwaukee to the hump to get over. Okay, like he crashed on his way to the hump.
Crashing on your way to the hump is crazy.
Yeah, he won 30 games. Like
crashing on your way to the hump is nuts.
You didn't even make it to the hump, bro. That's the thing with JB. He can't make it out the hump. Like he can't even get to the second round right now.
Insane, bro.
All kind of archetypes. He's like, oh, last time I was in the playoffs, I didn't have the tough team. So now I got the tough team. Don't matter. Like,
you got the tough team who can't score.
Bro, you playing the tough team that can't score. That's the crazy part.
I've made this point, though. Look at those rosters. Just nothing else. Just look at those rosters. If you didn't know the record or the seeding or anything, you would easily say that the Orlando Magic were the better team. Not even close.
Even then, though, man, like we're talking about the difference between Duncan Robinson being your best shooter and what's T-Rex arm's name? What's
Desmond Bain?
Desmond Bain, yeah. I almost called him real. But
wow.
I remember people comparing them on Twitter.
My dog, you gonna do my dog like that? You gonna do my dog like that? Call him T-Rex.
Like Rail posted the tweet of like Rail and him side by side.
Calling him T-Rex arms is crazy.
Well, Desmond Bain legitimately does look like T-Rex arms. Rail does not. Rail's arms are proportionate to his body, but Desmond Bain's are not.
Call my dog T-Rex arms. That's crazy. He gonna watch
Desmond Bain gotta stretch extra hard to get Cheetos. Like,
that's insane, dog.
Do you think Desmond Bain could put a seatbelt on without leaning?
Yes.
You think he can do this right here? I don't know. I don't know.
I think he can do it without leaving.
I bet he got to get a custom back scratcher, like so he can.
A custom back scratcher?
Yeah, like one that has like a little curve so he can angle it because he can't get over his shoulder like you need.
So you say he got to get it? You say he got to get it shipped to him, delivered?
Yeah, he got to order his directly from AliExpress or what they call it. What's the place you get the Etsy? Yeah, he got to get it off Etsy.
That's insane.
Rufus is insane.
That's insane.
He get cricks in his neck when he try to brush his hair.
Hey, what's good with you, bro? What? Are you all right? Are you okay?
I'm sorry, I can't pass a roast session up when I see one. Like,
oh, come on, bro. Come on, bro. You ain't have to do that. You do not have to do that.
when you are the only half Asian person in a school full of black folk, you learn that you always just keep 4-5 on you, just in case. Just in case you need to get out of a sticky situation. Because all it takes is one person saying shrimp fried rice to make the whole cafeteria laugh. So you got to be able to have some shit back. some mutually assured destruction. Okay? Like, you're not about to speak that gibberish to me. Like,
oh, they be doing that. They be doing it. They was doing the gibberish to you.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, not the gibberish.
Dude, that was around it. Like, my brother went to high school when Jen was on 106 in Park. That was hell for him. Like, talk about we gonna learn Chinese. Ah, man. Like, nah, 3-4 in the pocket. I'm scanning everybody and looking for what's wrong with you, just in case.
I'm not trying to laugh at y'all, bro. I'm not trying to laugh at y'all.
Just in case somebody needs to get fired up. And sometimes it ain't even the person that said the joke. Sometimes you got to fire up somebody else to just switch it.
Oh, Jim was on 106 in Park.
Yeah, bro. Look, the shit that they get off on Asians, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling y'all would not believe it. Okay. I told you this. My dad was watching Fresh Off the Boat, and like he was like, "Yeah, I just thought it was unrealistic that a black kid would make fun of an Asian kid." And I'm like, "Guys, he was like specifically for being Asian? Yes, bro. Like absolutely. What are you talking about?
You over here give flashbacks?
Like what? What?
Oh, your dad don't even know what he did.
People will be your friends and still just hit you with the Asian joke because they like, oh, it's funny. It's just Asian jokes.
It's just Asian jokes, bro. You gonna be all right.
I'm like, yo, come on now. Like, bro, one time somebody tried to hit me with an internment camp joke. I was like, this is too far. We got to have a conversation. Like, I didn't even feel like joking. I'm like, all right, guys, we need to actually talk. Like, you have not been educated properly if you think that's funny. Like,
you over here having discussions now?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, round table discussion, man. Like, jokes are over. I told you one time, the most faith I ever lost in humanity, I was at the lunchroom and I was like, somebody had asked me where my mom was from, and I was like, she from Fukuoka, Japan. And this girl came out of nowhere and was like, you lied to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, you just said your mom from Japan, right? I'm like, yeah. Well, when I asked you what you mixed with the other day, you said you black and Asian. I was like, yeah. So which one is it? I was like, huh? Pardon? Excuse me. Nah, they needed to leave a child behind.
No, I forgot you told me that.
What? Huh?
You lied to me. What?
She was like, you lied. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh,
I remember I was like, I don't even want to correct you.
would have been the last day me and you
Because you're gonna argue with me about it. While I try to explain it. Bruh. They thought Asia was his own country.
Yeah, man, we don't need to talk. We don't need to talk.
Man. Yeah. Look, I didn't even get it the worst, man. I had a friend named Tajanal. He was from his people were from India. And this was during that period of American history. Yeah. Look, I ain't get it the worst. At worst, somebody would yell Pearl Harbor thinking it's funny. You know what they yelled at him? And you know how offensive that is? On multiple levels. Yeah.
I'm not laughing. I'm not
no,
laughing
it's ridiculous.
It's I'm
it's
laughing
funny.
because it's crazy.
Yeah.
People
kids are dumb, bro.
People are nuts, man.
Bro, kids are dumb and audacious, bro. They'll say anything. They'll say anything, bro.
They'll literally say anything.
That's
bro.
the best piece of advice my brother gave me. Is they gonna say anything. You just gotta have something back.
You just gotta have something back.
You can't let it defeat you. You just gotta have some heat back.
Oh God, that's just.
And that's why when I see Desmond Bane's arms, I can't help but think of 3 or 4 good ones. I'm gonna make sure you around next time it pop off.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's rough, man. Being a minority in any situation is not a fun experience, I would imagine.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the thing too, bro. At least I was half black code. So I always had that to lean back on. I knew what was going on. I knew it was just roast. Bro, imagine if your family is from India and you dealing with this shit, dog. You have no way of comprehending that it's not that malicious. It's just ignorant.
You can't tell the difference.
Huh?
You say you can't tell the difference between when you're not from it. You can't tell the difference between malicious and just
contextual heavy community, and you don't know the difference, dog.
You just think everybody hates you.
You just damn, this fucked up. This is absolutely fucked up. Oh my goodness. Even me, I'm yeah, that was kind of fucked up how they was back then.
No, you don't have to be cracking up though. You don't have to be cracking up. When Mina Kimes was "Oh, we got another one." It's Chris Johnson.
New one dropped. New blazing dropped.
"Oh, we got another one." I was "Oh, Q about to talk about this forever." Dog.
Hey, blame Chuck. He retweeted it. I would have never saw it. And Chuck did it. And I know Chuck retweeted it just so I can see it. Okay. 100%.
I
was oh yeah. Because I had the same thought. We was watching the video and I was hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah. Let's go. Don't let Marcus Freeman coach the team.
I be forgetting he blazing. I can't
That's
see past the Beijing.
Because that man is the most Blasian looking man of all time.
I only noticed the Beijing, and I just be like,
mm-hmm.
just be what does he got going on, bro?
No, Blasians come in two different varieties, man. Either we have really, really black facial features, but lighter skin, or we have really brown skin, but the most Asian facial features you've ever seen. That is the two varieties that I have been experienced, right? Or like sometimes we can look a little bit like we Polynesian sometimes that could come out, right? But that's for reasons that, I'm not prepared to explain on this show. But yeah. I didn't see it when I saw him. I was looking at him like, no, I don't think we got one. No, we got one. Like, let's go.
Yeah, when his grandma came on the screen, I was like, oh. I was like, oh. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Add one to the delegation. He gets a vote. Hey, Jalen Daniels. We got him too.
Oh man.
Yeah, Rex Sunahara, he's Asian. I think he's Asian. He looks Asian.
Is he Asian or is he just straight up
Asian? He might just be straight up Asian. Let me look at him again. His name Rex, which make me think Asian, right?
That's fair.
Yeah. Let's see here. Sunahara.
I'm over here I'm like Rex, yeah.
It's Asian with the capital A if it's Asian. Like, cause like it's like a subtle difference, but like his skin looks white, but it's like an Asian white. I don't want to get too in detail with this. This is really getting to territory that's too familiar. But I think he is Asian. He looks Asian.
I'm over here just like
capital A. Somebody's here. Small W, capital A.
Don't let Domo come in here. Domo's the last person you want to be part of this conversation.
Absolutely not.
Not want Domo to be a part of this conversation. It will be funny, but it would be extremely.
The last conversation we have.
Cam Scubbs put this out. He said, "Shout out to Q and Kimes on Chris Johnson being drafted."
Salute to y'all, man. Another one.
Hey man. Don't let Kyler Murray have a resurgence, bro. Hey, Kyler Murray, great landing spot for 2028. Cleveland Browns, baby. Let's go. Let's do the Sam Darnold.
We're never gonna be able to say anything bad about it. We're not gonna be able to be critical of Kyler at all.
Don't let me look into Dante Moore 23 and me and find the homie. Okay. I'm gonna be the biggest Dante Moore fan you've ever seen. Hey, what if it came out that Arch had some Asian in him? Would I be on Damo's side now?
Asian Arch?
Would Damo be on my side is the question.
Oh man.
But yeah, all jokes aside, man. Shout out to everybody who got drafted over the weekend. We got super chats.
Yeah, we went to 2, so let's get the rest of these out the way. This is from Useless Bread. He says, "So at this point, the Barry Can draft take is just patently ridiculous, right? Also, the EMW pick reminds me of the JOK pick, both for Q's guys."
By the way, Damo popped up in chat and said, "Yeah." Can you pop that up again, man? My bad.
You got distracted by Domo.
Yes.
What did that?
Oh my god.
He said that shit twice. He meant it.
Useless bread, he said. So at this point, the Barry can draft take is just patently ridiculous, right? Also, the EMW pick reminds me of the JLK pick, both for Q's guys.
Yeah, I would say it's around the same range that they traded up for JLK too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Barry can't draft thing I always thought was a bit overblown, right? The big context there being he had 3 years where he didn't have first round picks, 2 years without a second round pick. Everybody's draft is going to look underwhelming under those circumstances, and then he's trying to like add 7 players from rounds 3 to 7. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of misses when you do that. But that's kind of the situation they were forced to be in. But now that he has the resources to pick just like everybody else, I mean, we're starting to see the benefits here. And keep in mind, like what's inflated John Dorsey's standing is the fact that John Dorsey had a bunch of first round picks to work with.
Yeah, his best picks were Baker, who was number 1 overall, Denzel Ward, who was 4th overall, and Nick Chubb, who was a 2nd round pick.
And it's also keep in mind, if he leaves that draft with Baker Mayfield and Austin Corbett without those extra firsts, do we look at him the same? No, we're not even talking about those drafts being good. So, it's about the assets, right? Like the swings. You get more swings and you're a good hitter, you're going to get on something.
Yeah, also, I don't think it's a coincidence that Andrew Berry's best picks are all first and second round picks. Yeah, like first and second round picks.
His first and second round picks are pretty solid. Like, especially the second round picks. Second round picks been money. Okay. Like,
yeah, Grant Delpit, JOK, Carson, Quinshawn. And now we got Denzel Boston and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. Yeah, second round picks with money.
Mm-hmm. The worst one is Mike Hall. He might be decent this year. So
yeah, I was gonna say Mike Hall is probably the only one that hasn't been great.
Yeah, but he's like what, 21 still?
22, I think.
He was 20 when he got drafted, right?
Yeah, I think he's probably like 22, something like that.
Yeah, I want to see what he looks like when he's 23 this year.
Yeah, so yeah, he's
because also to be fair to Mike Hall, he's had such a stop start to his career where he had that whole domestic violence thing derail his rookie campaign. Then he got injured, so he couldn't work out for the offseason and then had to come in midway through this year. I wonder what a full healthy offseason looks like for him.
Yeah, that's true.
In a training camp. I think that's going to make a huge difference for him.
I also think that, like, even when you go back and you start looking at, like, some of the players Andrew Berry picked after the second round, like the third round, I think the third round is where he has his most egregious misses. But we also know that, like, the third round was also when he was acquiescing to the coaching staff on players.
So, yeah, at the pick 70, man, he started just letting them do anything.
Yeah, but he did get Harold Fannin last year in the third round, and Martin Emerson was really good. So, or at least for a couple of seasons. So,
I mean, there's Isaiah McGuire in the 4th. DeJuan Jones is fine in the 4th.
Alex Wright too as a third round pick. He's good.
Alex Wright, yeah, like there's been a couple of good picks there. 4th round's been okay. I mean, he got Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th. That's good value for a 6. Nick Harris even for a 5th. It's fine. Jawan Briggs in the 7th. That turned out to be a good player. Tommy Togiai.
Turned out to be a good player. Yeah. If there's a criticism we can find there, is that he gave up on the defensive tackles a little bit too early.
Well, that was part of the turnover from Schwartz to Woods.
Mm-hmm.
You would take it. I would do it over again. But the Siaki Ika pick, I mean, like, come on now. We know who was responsible for that one.
Yep.
The Dylan Gabriel pick.
Kevin.
We know who's responsible for that one. Yeah. The Schwartz pick. We know who wanted him. Right.
That was Kevin too, right?
Yes. That was Kevin.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah. Sometimes he tries to get guys what they want, and sometimes it ends up being a lesson, right? Like, let's see if Austin Barber becomes a lesson there. But can't deny that he's been a really good evaluator for this team. And that's not even touching on, like, the contract stuff. We're still not in cap hell with that horrific Deshaun Watson contract. He's found a way to manage that. Like, every year we're like, oh, it's going to happen. We're almost done with it. Like, Like every year, right? Every year, every YouTuber's end of the year, will the Browns have to deal with that Deshaun Watson contract? In a couple of years, it'd be over. And we didn't lose a single player because of that contract. Like, who's the player the Browns wanted to keep? They couldn't because of the Watson deal.
Nothing, nobody.
No,
They got everybody.
They kept everybody. They even kept Grant Delpit. So that's, I think, a credit to him. His pro personnel stuff's always been amongst the better parts in the league. I think, his ability to negotiate trades, contracts. And now his drafting is catching up because he has the resources. We just got to win some games to make sure that, like, Jimmy doesn't take over the team. Okay.
So Jimmy doesn't do something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Because even at this point, I'm like, all right, man, you done built this roster up to a point to where you have some success here. Maybe you don't have the first crack at quarterback, but maybe you have a great chance to make it work with whichever one that you bring out. Like, imagine if you're Lenore Sellers, you come from that offensive line in South Carolina to your situation in Cleveland, patented it that it works out the way that we hope it does, right? And the Browns are, in a couple of years, one of the better all lines. All of a sudden, it's going to be a big world of difference, right? We'll see. Swarsby's an interesting one to watch. I know he's coming in and out of a gambling rehab here. Him and Childs. Those two right there. Interesting to watch.
People keep bringing up the Sorsby thing, and I'm like, man, I think Sorsby's talented. I think he's talented, but the gambling addiction stuff is just like a non-starter for me.
Yeah, I mean, he self-checked into rehab, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This next one was from George Barsan. I told Colb and Corey's Discord I super chat $20 if we get Fano and KC. What a draft. AB's got the laser eyes back now. We just need a QB. Do y'all have any thoughts on the Sorsby thing? Potential supplement draft guy, maybe. My whole
Is he going
thing
to
on
be
the
in the
whole
draft this year?
I don't even know if they have a supplemental draft. I'll look it up. But the thing about the whole Sorsby thing is that as someone who has played college football, I didn't play D1, but they talked to us about, like, this is like first day of camp type stuff. Like, you're not allowed to bet and do stuff like that. And if they find, and the fact that he's been doing it for a while and that Cincinnati flagged him for doing it says he's been doing this for a while and he hasn't got caught till now. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if his football career is technically over, but
do we know what kind of gambling he was doing?
I know he was betting on his own team, which is basically like,
it's like, I remember guys when I was in college, they got flagged and hit for like fantasy football. Like that got like guys suspended when I was in school. So it's like, I'm wondering like what exactly it is that he got caught doing.
If I read correctly, he was placing like thousands of bets.
Oh,
yeah, like
okay.
there's not no minor thing that people are like. It's not like one or two bets here and there. Like he has a like real gambling addiction.
Yeah.
So this is what I read. This is what I got. Indiana and Ohio had legal betting markets when Sorsby attended schools in those states. The legal betting age is 21 in both states. Sorsby didn't turn 21 until January 2025, meaning he would have been underage while allegedly betting in Indiana and Ohio. And I'm trying to see what else. Because I just pulled it up. But yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like that's something that you would have a personal conversation with him about to see where he is after he gets out of rehab and goes through the season. There are certain answers you can get from somebody in that kind of a situation that make you feel more confident. So I just let that one play out, see how it is. I mean, he's going to get picked apart about that in the draft process anyways, right? That's going to be a huge part to him. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like where the Browns picking, like Lenore Sellers could be interesting there in that range. Aiden Childs, Sorsby. Don't know who's going to ultimately end up there. Hell, Dante Moore can end up there if he has like a rough season or something like that. But that's probably the range the Browns are going to have to feel comfortable sitting at for quarterback.
As far as the supplemental draft, the last time we had one was 2019. It hasn't had one since for a while now.
Basically, a
So-
team has to declare that they want to take somebody in the supplemental draft, or somebody has to declare for the supplemental draft, right? That's how that works.
Yeah,
If
it's
there is
usually when
one.
there's like a high profile prospect where a situation like this happens and they have to leave college football and
Like
they
if Trinidad Chambliss didn't get his eligibility by the courts, he would have been in the supplemental draft.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he had already exhausted the draft process by the time that was decided.
Yeah, because I pulled this up. They said essentially a player who would have been eligible to be drafted anyway submits to the NFL to put their name in the supplemental draft. At that point, teams are given a list of players on the board, and they have a bit of a reverse bidding process. One team could say they spent a 5th-round pick on Sourceby, another could say they'd use a 4th round. If the 4th-round pick was the earliest bid, that team would get Sourceby for that cost while forfeiting that round pick in the following year's traditional
It's
draft.
a blind bid too.
Yeah. So nobody knows what you're gonna. Nobody
Yeah,
knows
you
what
just-
you're gonna be.
You literally write it on a little piece of paper, you fold it, and you turn it in, and whoever put the lowest number wins.
Yeah. So now it becomes a question of what pick are you willing to give up in the 2027 draft, which is loaded. So what pick are you willing to give up to get Brendan Sorsby?
We'll probably write 4th.
I was about to say probably a 4th because they have
Yeah,
extra
multiple.
4ths.
Yeah, like 3 4th-round picks. You probably write a 4th-round pick and see if that gets you him. Is his eligibility in question?
Yeah.
It has to be, right? I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah. It's a
You know?
Yes, no question.
Yeah. So he might be ineligible for this year.
Which in which case he probably needs to declare for the supplemental draft.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm him, take a year off. Like you're
That
just
would
not
be the
gonna
smart
convince
thing.
anybody. You're not
Yeah,
gonna
that would
convince anybody.
That would be the smart thing to do. Like, yeah, just take a year off.
Yeah, you're not gonna convince anybody right now. Like take the year off. And then he's a good enough athlete to where if he gets out there, starts throwing the ball, people are gonna be like, well, what about him? Try to get like a Senior Bowl invite. Like, work it that way. You could definitely get like an East-West invite. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting for Sorsby. But yeah, Aiden Childs, I think is somebody interesting to watch. Who else are some quarterbacks that might pop up in that range for the Browns? Or it might be risers that we aren't thinking of.
CJ Carr.
Who, man, the draft people hate him.
Hey, man. Draft people hate him, but he's gonna be
it's
part
like
of the discussion.
the more grassroots draft people don't like him. The national draft people are like, oh yeah, Lloyd Carr. It's weird. It's weird how we have that divide.
Let me see. I'm trying to look at this QB class. So obviously there's Dante and Arch. Julian Sand gets mentioned, but I don't know about that.
I think Julian Sand's gonna get he's an NIL bag guy. Same thing with Mike.
There's CJ. There's Darian Mensah.
Yeah,
Sam Levitt.
He's an interesting one.
Drew Messmaker.
Or Meestemaker.
Or is it Meestemaker? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. John Mateer. Lenore Sellers.
We got Baker Mayfield at home.
Trinidad Chambliss. And DJ Lagway.
Yeah, DJ Lagway is probably gonna have to do the whole 4, right?
I think he's probably gonna have to do the whole 4.
Yeah, he needs to do the full 4. We'll see. We'll see. That doesn't sound too loaded to me. It sounds like, there's Arch and there's Dante. And then there are a lot of, we'll see guys there.
There's also going to be guys who we're not thinking about or who's not getting mentioned. Like as we go through the season, like they're gonna start getting mentioned.
Ton of guys.
Yeah.
Ton of redshirt sophomores that are gonna play that aren't on the radar that are gonna blow us away during the season.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna ask, are they gonna be coming out? All right, we got next one.
What's next?
The next one is from Ray Rags. Not only did the Steelers get put in the chair, they might get draft picks taken away because they were on the phone with him when Philly called, and that's not allowed.
Good. Take their first round pick.
Ooh. mask is falling off of that organization.
Take their first round pick.
Frauds have been exposed. I don't ever want to hear people on Cleveland radio go, "Oh, well, I just wish we were a great organization like the Pittsburgh Steelers." They suck. They just like us. What did Jeff Teague be saying? They with us.
Shout out Teague, man. Shout out Teague. He's hilarious.
You got the next
All right.
one.
Yeah, next one is from my Ravs again. They did their best to foolproof their offense for the QB. There's no more excuses for anyone in that room. If you still suck, then on to 2027 we go.
Yep.
I am interested to see how the dialogue evolves because obviously, logically, that's how that's supposed to line up. But like, if things don't go right, what's going to come up? Like, who's going to be the person that gets thrown under the bus?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh, yes, we will. Well, we'll see if we get to it. But that's going to be a fascinating bridge across if we have to. They going to blame Andrew? Is that who they gonna point the finger at next? Like, who is next?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
We gonna find out there was somebody. It's like it's like Winter Soldier. It's like, oh no, the ops were here still the whole time. They're still trying to sabotage him. Get to the next one.
All right, next one is from Ray Radis again. I didn't want to draft him, but I felt Drew Aller's reaction to getting drafted serious. That's a true fan right there. So diehard that you didn't. So diehard that you don't want to put on the hat in the moment you worked your whole life for.
He did not want to put that hat on, by the way. He did not want to put the hat on.
I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation. Cause like I can't envision it. You know what I mean? Like it's too deeply rooted in me to put on the Steelers hat.
He was just looking at it and it was just like, oh man.
Of course.
But it sucks, Drew, because we can't even root for you now.
Well, it depends on what you think of Drew. If you want to root for that or not. Because you might want him to succeed early because you think he might throw you some interceptions later.
Yes, that's gonna be fun to watch. What's the next one, Curtis?
Bruh, I know he hate that. I know he took that knee injury. He's like, if I would have had this knee injury, I would have went number 6 overall, and I would have had a great year. And then I tear this knee up, and I end up in Pittsburgh.
Crazy. Should have came out last year.
It's crazy. He didn't have to go. He don't even have to go far. He can just stay in the right and stay. He got to go back to the state that he was playing football in.
I'm about to say, bro, like last year, he would have still ended up in the same situation.
All right, next one is from Ray Rags again. Said this on Q Screen, but why do people hate on AB so much for the 2022 and 2023 drafts? Like, I get it, they're not great, but they didn't pick till 74 in 2022 and 54 in 23. What do you want him to do? Pull first round talent out of his ass?
That's exactly what people want him to do.
That's exactly what they wanted him to do.
By the way, Garrett Nussmeier with 249.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, 249.
Woo. Woo. Ooh, something must have stank when they looked up in there. Like,
he went to KC though, right?
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Let's see if he makes the team. They got what? Justin Fields there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they got another dude there? Oladokin? Is Oladokin over there?
Yeah, he's still over there.
Shout out to Garrett Nussmeier. I didn't know he was from Lake Charles. That's where my people from.
What's the next one, Curtis?
Next one is from Ray Rags again. I haven't seen his high school tape, but I don't think Taylor knows what he has as an athlete. The most rushing yards he had was 63. That speed should be north of 800, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, he has comparable production to like the last year of Jalen Milroe, his last year in college rushing the ball. It's just like quarterbacks don't run that much. You know what I mean? Like you got to be special to be a 1,000-yard runner in college. Like let me look up Lamar Jackson's college stats. I don't even think because remember in college they count sacks as negative yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real hard to have like gaudy rushing numbers in college, to be fair. But I do think he had 700, almost 800 rushing yards last year.
Who?
Taylor.
I think so.
And Lamar Jackson. Oh my God.
Keith.
Lamar Jackson was a goddamn beast. Oh my God.
I'm about to say he definitely went over 1,000 rushing in college.
God.
Yeah,
Oh, 1,600.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! 18 touchdowns. How did this dude go 32nd in the draft, bro? Like he won the Heisman. He threw 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions in 2016, ran for 1,500 yards and 21 touchdowns. And then the next year, third to Heisman voted, 1,600 rushing yards, 3,660 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and he went last in the first round.
Racism, bro.
Bro, he would be the Andrew. Like, if dude comes out like that in college, that would be the next Andrew Luck. Like, oh my God, he's going to go number one nowadays. Like, that's how much the paradigm had to shift. And honestly, it's kind of fascinating that he dealt with that level of racism and still win in the first round. Because they was out. Because also Lamar Jackson don't do the quarterback stuff.
Mm-mm.
He don't sound like Russell Wilson when he out there. Lamar Jackson will show up to that meeting and break down film in a shiesty. Like, with his chain on. But he was cold enough. They was like, we got to take him. We got to take him in the first round. Like, oh, my goodness. Lamar Jackson was fucking. Don't ever compare a prospect to Lamar Jackson. Oh, my God. Like,
No.
We don't talk enough about how obvious it was that he could be good, like in the NFL. Oh my goodness,
just ridiculous. What's the next one, Curtis?
Insane.
Next one is from Ray Rags again. I'm just going through at random.
That man had over 100 touchdowns in college, like almost 120.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is from Ray Rags, but by knowing Sorsby was gambling and playing him anyway, Cincinnati could face NCAA scrutiny.
They should.
Yeah, that's real. That
should.
If it were the NFL, that team would be abolished.
Yes, 1,000%. What's the next one, Curtis?
He was on high school numbers in college. Yeah.
All right, this is from Cam's Cut Ups. He says Damon Jones, Sorsby, the Cleveland Gambler Pipeline.
All right.
All right, we not gonna put you on timeout for that. Stop. Man, because he out here pleading guilty because he was gambling with the mafia.
Oh, was he a part of that Gilbert Arenas probe?
He was part of that Rozier and Billups pro. By the way, if you gambling with the mafia, if you see a black truck rolling around your neighborhood, you better not look out the window.
Bro, why are you doing anything with the mafia if you ain't in the mafia?
Why are you talking to the mafia to begin with?
You know what I mean?
Do they not see the shows?
Had a simple rule for me growing up. If you don't live in the projects, don't be in the projects. And I think that was a pretty effective rule, right? Like, you don't live there, why you there? You know what I mean? You don't need to be there. Even you got friends.
Pretty smart.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
You don't live in the projects, why you there? Right? He understood that. He gave that rule to me. I think that's a good. If you're not in the mafia, why the fuck you fucking with the mafia? Has this ever worked out for anybody ever? You could be president, and that don't stop people from thinking, hey, maybe the mafia did it. Right? Like, I don't sound like a good hang. No, you're not Frank Sinatra. Like, you're not just gonna be out there kicking it, dog. Is this the same thing to white folks to when like Chris Brown tries to hang with Bloods? like
apparently he's not trying to hang with them, but
but that's what I'm saying. Like, is this like, oh, are you kicking it with the mafia? Like, you know, And you looking at it the same way we look at Chris Brown when he's repping the set. It's like, yeah, he's repping the set, but like it's kind of strange that Chris Brown is choosing to behave in this way. Or like when Drake tries to like act like he's part of a set. like, bro, what you doing? Like that one RDC sketch where it's like the dude decides like he need to see how real his crew is, so he just start doing deals like we gonna sell drugs. He's like, why? We made it. Like, what are you doing? You trying to go back? Like,
why? We made it.
Bro, what are you doing? Like,
what's the next one, Curtis?
So I respectfully decline any Mafia poker invites in the future on behalf of myself.
If anything happens to me, if I get involved in Mafia, do not say anything. That's all I got to say.
Hey, bro, no Mafia, no Japanese Mafia, no Yakuza, none of that, dog. We good. I'm good. I'm good. I only play poker with people that I know to be upstanding, law-abiding citizens.
Hey, when we see Q walking around with the Yakuza the Yakuza tattoos, it's gonna be crazy.
Like, what happened to Q?
Why are you like this?
What happened? Like,
I was like, I lost a couple hands. Now look at you.
Ain't no reason to be there. Ain't no reason for me to be there.
All right, this is from Cam's Cutups.
Somebody hit me up, man, you should join our poker game. No. It's not the first thing I'm doing with you.
Absolutely not, sir.
We can get lunch. Let's get some drinks in a big group. How about that? You know what I mean? Like, poker? No. Like,
yeah, but Cam's Cutups, this is what he said. Taylor Green is why we need an NFL dev league. We do have a dev league. It's called the UFL. It's on every Thursday, Friday, and not Thursday and Friday. Friday and Saturday.
Here's the problem with the football in a developmental league. The nature of football is incompatible with a developmental league because that assumes you got time.
Yeah.
And you don't got time in football. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's plenty of places to play if you can't land on the NFL team to get better, for sure. At the end of the day, though, I think the issue that developmental leagues have is that they need to be profitable to sustain themselves. But the nature of developmental sports is not an entertaining product to watch on television because it requires teams and it requires the organization to make decisions that aren't oriented towards winning and more oriented towards development. And ultimately, we want to watch teams try to win, right? So, like, even like with the UFL, it's like they're going to have guys out there playing X receiver that won't play X receiver in the NFL, right? What's the guy's name? Hakeem Butler, right? Every time he's in the UFL, he plays X, but he gets signed to an NFL team, he has to play tight end. It would probably benefit him to play tight end more often, but that's not going to be what's successful for winning in the UFL is having him at tight end. He's going to play X in it because he can play X at the UFL. That's the same issue with college, where it's like teams going to make decisions because they want to win, not because they're right for development. So if you want to have a developmental league, it can't be a television product. You know, it has to be something different than what we've imagined, because if you want a television product to succeed, there has to be that element to it, and you're just not going to get that from a developmental league. It's why like nobody watches the D League. It's not because of G League, my bad. It's not because it's not like high quality basketball players in there. Like relative to college, there are better players in there. But it's like they're not playing to win like most of the time. Yeah. They're playing to develop guys. And even then, I think the NBA D League and G League system has been proven to kind of be a bit of a failure. You know, like not a lot of players have been developed out that G League system relative to how long it's been running. And even when they tried to have draft picks go through there, that ended up being a disaster. So I think we need to rethink what it means to have a developmental league, because I don't think we have a good grasp on like what actually benefits these players in a developmental league. Because we're trying to run them at profit or at cost or whatever. I think we need to just, if you want to simulate the NBA, you got to simulate the NBA, or maybe you just expand roster spots on the league, or you do something similar where you let teams roster more players that maybe don't suit up on the game day. So make the active roster 75, but still make it a game day 48. I think that could help expansion of coaching staffs, and then allowing for certain designated players to be in spring programs where they could do more hard contact stuff in the offseason, to kind of get used to football. But I don't know if a full-on developmental league with like teams will ever work, because I don't think it fits. It's not a good model.
What's the next one, Curtis?
All right, next one is from Ray Rags again. I just hope Jimmy doesn't clean house if the O-line and wide receiver room is fixed and it's clear that the QB is the only problem left.
I don't think he will.
That's not a clean house situation. That's not a clean house situation. A clean house situation would be like they win 3 games.
And they're averaging like 3 yards a carry in the defense covers.
Yeah, like that's a clean house situation. I actually think they're going to win more games than they did last year, to be completely honest with you.
If they're going to clean house, they're going to be drafting Arch Manning, basically. That's a clean house situation. It's like, okay, everything fell flat. But
we just have to see what the schedule looks like. But
yeah, I think if you're a Browns fan, you want all your tough games at the beginning of the season.
You don't want them in the back half.
Yeah, because you're probably going to struggle at the beginning of the season regardless of who you play. I would expect 6 weeks of pretty football offensively. And maybe even defensively, because you're changing stuff.
Yeah, because it might be in adaptation periods. But I think someone in our group chat said they have the Browns at double-digit wins. We will keep that person's name confidential. We do not want to put that person's name out there. I just thought it was a little crazy.
Bro, why does it say Curtis next to that?
It was not.
I'm looking at the group text right now.
It's insane that he put you out there like that.
Yeah. I got him at 10. Stop hating. And then you put a tweet here with some ugly fucking shoes inspired by One Piece.
That wasn't even me. That was
Mac that did that. Yeah, that was Mac that did that. But yeah, this is a picture of somebody sitting down on a turf stadium in a orangish red hoodie.
It's a red hoodie.
Yeah, that's Curtis right there that said that. I don't know why you know.
I didn't say they went. I would not say that, but
He said 11 wins.
Hey man, chill out, man. I ain't trying to get the black SUVs sent to my house. Chill out.
Nah, he said 11 wins, and they're gonna push the Seahawks. That's crazy.
All right, this is
you know you back on your optimistic shit. You know what I mean? I fuck with that.
This is from Youngblood Bake. If DW has a decent season, Hass will be like, "You see, I told you so. Better late than never. Don't force AB to."
No, that's not how.
It's not. Doesn't he have a poison pill in his contract?
Yeah. Jimmy would be like, "Okay, well, at least we got 1 year." Like this is viewed as temporary. They would have to release him and then re-sign him, which is probably not going to happen. And honest to God, I think it's mutual at this point. If you're Deshaun Watson, you probably want to get out of here too.
Yeah.
Go to Atlanta if they want you. Reunite with Kevin. Get back on that plane.
Next one is from Trill Hill. Should the Browns take a chance on Brendan Sorsby? If he's available via the supplemental draft this summer?
Thank goodness we covered that section fully. Appreciate the super chat.
I appreciate the super chat, but good God, no.
We had a full conversation.
No. And this is from George again.
Brown's only hope for Arch is the roster is good enough that Jimmy can convince Archie to force his way into getting Arch in Cleveland. Hashtag not happening.
Hey man, that's how we got our quarterback the last time. We find out Arch a Browns fan.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
He did show up with the Browns hat on, like I've always wanted to be the guy who wins it.
Gets us to the max.
I'm like, damn, somebody about to get Myles Garrett for the first pick.
Oh man. What's the next one, Curtis?
All right, this is from Ray Rex. I don't think we did this one. They could realistically get 7+ wins if their D plays the same. The O-line wide receiver room is better than last year. They will have to have the worst QB play of all time to get the #1 pick. We won 5 without those things.
More would have to go wrong than quarterback is essentially what would have to go down, right? And even if you had the worst quarterback play in the league last year, it still didn't get you the #1 overall pick. Yeah. Also, can you pull it up again? Because there was another part that I wanted to hit. Make it realistic. Oh, yeah. Off the top of your head, you could probably name like 5 games this year the Browns should have won, right? Yeah. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Cincinnati at the beginning of the season. Minnesota.
That's 7 wins right there.
That's 7 right there. Tennessee. That's Buffalo.
8. 9.
That's 9 right there. There's one more in there. Let me look at their schedule from last year. Don't you guys remember there being one more? Where it's like, wow, we were one stupid thing away from winning that game. Was it the second?
Game? Was it the second Ravens game?
Nah, I don't think. It might have been the Shador debut. Yeah,
it was the second Ravens game.
I think it was the second Ravens game. Yeah.
Yeah, the Shador debut. Yeah, the Pittsburgh game they played in. Yeah, it's 10 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Curtis, maybe your theory, maybe your prediction might be right. Go down to the next chat.
Okay. This is from Aquiline. He says, I'm tired of the ethical hoops era, ready to move on. I don't know what he's referring to.
He's referring to the Cavs.
Yeah. The ethical hoops era needs to die.
Yeah, we don't need to do the whole like opposite though and just draft criminals. Like, let's hopefully find a balance here. They need to be a physically stronger team. I think the lack of strength and like size is really just taking a number on this team, and it's something that teams can take advantage of because when it comes down to it, it's not hard to outmuscle the Cavaliers, and that's what's happened to them.
This is from David Miner. He says, could you rank drafts that are 5+ years old?
Well, it's like ranked 2020, 21. Maybe.
Who's the Browns? Let me.
I don't know. What's 2020? Yeah, 2020 was Wills, Delpit.
So 2021 was Greg, JOK. Let's
Not
see.
bad.
I'm trying to see the whole. Yeah, Greg, JOK, Schwartz, Hudson, Togia.
Honestly, Hudson, what 4th round pick, swing tackle. Okay, it's not
Tony Fields,
a neutral. Tony Fields is a miss.
Richard LeCount. Dimitri Felton.
And then 7th round pick didn't work out. And then Tommy Togiai didn't work out for us, did work out down the line.
Yeah, so
not a failure in evaluating potential, just a failure in executing potential.
Yeah, so 3 good players out of that class.
21 gets rough after, 22 gets pretty rough, I think. That's the first non-Deshaun Watson one. Right, it's Martin Emerson, David Bell.
Let me actually go back and look at that. So that's 21. Let's see, 22. Martin Emerson, that was a good pick. Alex Wright, that was a good pick. David Bell, your boy Perryon Winfrey, not great.
Yeah, he's back in the UFL.
Cade York, 4th round, terrible.
Yeah,
Jerome Ford wasn't awful his rookie year.
Yeah, but that might be your best pick in that draft.
Besides Martin Emerson and Alex Wright.
Yeah.
Let's see, Michael Woods, Isaiah Thomas, Dawson Dean. Yeah.
Jerome Ford, your best running back, your best offensive player, not a good thing.
And then 23 was Tillman, Ika, DeJuan Jones, Isaiah McGuire, DTR, Cameron Mitchell, and Luke Whippler.
So only Whippler and Isaiah McGuire, was he in that draft?
Yeah, so it's Whippler, McGuire, and then Tillman for now.
Yeah.
And then 24.
23 was also the UDFA class had Hickman and Diabetes. So that kind of names. Yeah.
And then 24, Mike Hall, Zach Zinter, Jamari Thrash, Nathaniel Watson, Miles Harden, Juwan Briggs.
Juwan Briggs ended up being good.
Yeah, Juwan Briggs ended up.
Miles Harden's still your slot corner.
For now.
Well, I think he's gonna do it in rotation with Grant and EMW.
Yeah, so the two best players.
They signed someone from West Virginia, UDFA. I don't know what his name is.
Coates Jr.
Yeah,
I think that's who you're talking about. Yeah, Michael Hall and Juwan Briggs are definitely the two best players from that draft. And then we know about last year's class, so we got to get into that.
All right. By the way, I think the James Gladstone reality is starting to factor into JP.
we need to throw out the saxophones for him.
It's starting to get real. JP was all blissful last year. Now, hold on. What am I hearing? what is going on?
What is that?
What you mean Travis ain't gonna be back for camp? They got Casey Concepcion with that pick. Who did we just draft? That was JP's entire timeline. That was JP on the timeline all day.
Their draft was so awful. Like,
bro, they brought Swerve out just to them to draft just some, like, I think it was like the 660th person on their consensus board. Woo.
Yeah, JP was like, "Hey man, this draft sucks." It's like Emmanuel Pregnon was our best pick.
Yeah, everything else, I didn't like it all. It was just,
who knows why Pregnon fell?
Probably because he's 25.
Yeah, might be more. But yeah,
I just realized he went back. He was at USC at one point, then he went back to Oregon. That's crazy.
He had a reunion tour in college.
He started at Wyoming, then he was at USC, then he went to Oregon for his last year.
Damn, he almost played with Josh Allen.
Damn.
From 2020 to 2022, no. But
so he was 2 years away from removed from Josh Allen. Well, 3 years.
2 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Like, he went to school with people who went to school with Josh Allen.
Yes.
Old. All right, let's get the next super chat.
This is from UT. Love Don and how he's carried himself in Cleveland, but man, his feel for the game sometimes be so baffling, almost Westbrookian at times, inexplicably bad shot selection, head scratching passes.
Small score for his guards, man. What can you do? What can you do?
You could be Jalen Brunson. Like, what do you mean? Hey, because he's small. Look, Donovan. This is what you need to be on, man. This is what you need to be on, Donovan.
Listen to everybody. Nobody. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house. Take your meal. Do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
I'm not nervous.
I'm not nervous.
That's why I need to see that. They need to tweet that. Don't tweet. Let them know. No, I tweet that out. Like, what are you prepared to do? Okay.
Oh man. Oh, we got new anti-tanking rules. Hold on.
In the NBA or in the NFL?
In the NBA.
It's so stupid.
Oh, we got new anti-tanking rules. I know this is about to piss me off.
Why? The Lakers don't tank?
because
when
all
is
the
this ever
proposals
gonna
have been,
affect the Lakers?
because all the proposals are always dumb.
I don't know.
The 3-2-1 lottery that includes expanding the lottery to 16 teams, flattened odds, and a relegation zone where the bottom 3 teams will be penalized with fewer lottery balls for the number 1 pick, starting with the 2027 draft.
Oh, so they're accumulating like the 2 years, like the WNBA does?
Wow. The 3-2-1 lottery proposal, named to represent the number of lottery balls per team, will expand the lottery from 14 to 16 teams. Teams that do not qualify for the playoffs or play-in tournament but stay out of the relegation zone, spots 4 through 10, would receive 3 lottery balls each. Teams with a bottom 3 record, the relegation area, would have just 2 lottery balls but have a floor of the 12th pick, while the rest of the 13 lottery teams could fall as far as the 16th pick.
I'm gonna be honest, this is too complicated for me to follow.
The 9th and 10th play-in seeds in each conference receive 2 lottery balls each, while the losers of the 7-8 play-in game receives 1 lottery ball each.
Oh, so you still get the lottery if you get in the play-in?
If you're 9 and 10.
So you could technically win the NBA Finals and still get a lottery pick?
That's insane.
I just don't think they needed to change it. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, just go back to the old system where it's like, honestly, if you really want to, just let it be whoever loses the most games gets the first pick.
This is just, it's a lot.
Like, if you're worried about a race to the bottom, having more finishing spots for the bottom does not stop the race to the bottom. Like, if there's only one place you could be in the bottom, then like, because like when you make it so it's flat for the fight, like the worst 3 teams in the league, what effectively you do is you make 3 first place spots for losing. So you expand the race to the bottom that way. Just do normal. Just like, okay, if you lose the most games, you get the pick.
You could finish with a bottom 3 record and then end up picking 12th. That's insane.
Yeah, I just feel like they're just doing too much. Just every other draft does this better, where it's just like, okay, the worst team just gets to pick. And if you really care, like maybe you could do the WNBA, I think has a better way of doing it, where they average out your record over the last 2 seasons, and that determines your pick. Yeah. But all this complicated lottery stuff, it's just, God, come on, man.
Yes.
You get a lottery ball here and then this and that. This is shit that people are going to have to argue about on like Twitter of like, oh, we should actually not win this game in November. And it's just making this shit less fun. like just get the loser the first pick, man. Who cares if they intentionally lose to get it? I don't care. It didn't matter when LeBron did it. Like,
they just overthinking it. It's just frustrating. Like, it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I think I think also another thing the NBA needs to figure out is like, how do you make regular season success more translatable to what we're seeing in the playoffs? Because we're seeing a big gap of teams being able to hack the regular season and not really figure out the playoffs.
I've been for expanding the NBA Cup and not making it just what I don't know how many teams advance when they get out the group stage because I gotta look it up now. Because that's something I would do. I would expand it a little bit more, and instead of putting in East and West groups, you mix it up, make it like the Champions League, like they do for soccer.
Maybe you get some
That's
fun
what I would do.
series. Maybe we do like 3-game series first round, like like actually like give them like a little bit of a playoff feel. Do something like that. Make it a bigger chunk of the season. They gotta figure out some things, but it's like some of the stuff they've done has been a success. The play-in has been a success, right? I think the in-season tournament to a point has been successful. All the all-star format changes, I don't know, man. Like you just gotta stop listening to the internet. Them motherfuckers gonna complain about anything.
They'll literally complain about everything, bro. Like,
I remember the All-Star game used to be competitive. It's never been like consistently competitive. Like it's always been a little bit of a joke. It's an All-Star game.
Yeah,
Like,
but the NBA Cup, they got what 8 teams advancing, and I'm like, I'll make it 12.
yeah.
And for group winners, like make it more like a little bit more different. Like,
fuck it, make it March Madness till you get like to the final 8. then you start playing series. Like,
and stop having teams
Also-
hold on, wait.
you could do a round of 64 style tournament and then invite European teams to play.
All right. Do we have any more super chats?
Well, you know how hard it would be though if Real Madrid beats the Hornets. Like, I need to see. We get to see NBA prospects play in NBA games early. That might be something. Imagine Luka at 17 beating the Pistons.
Hey, this has nothing to do with sports, but this is hilarious. Michael Jackson's Thriller aiming for a return to the top 15 on the Billboard 200 with 35K units sold this week. Oh man, I wonder what the people gonna realize that's not even his best album.
Yeah, off the wall.
It's 100% off the wall. 100% off the wall.
I heard where that movie ended. I'm like, that's not a problem to me. Like, that's actually where I would like the movie to end. Like,
people were saying the movie's terrible, and the people I know saw it. They're like, no, it's not bad at all. Like
it's a bio.
I was there for pre-release because that movie was showing that NBA YoungBoy was showing a concert for his a movie for his concert. It's like it was so much going on, but I don't know.
NBA YoungBoy has a movie.
It's based off his tour, his massive tour, Make America Slime Again tour.
What? Like is it like a concert? Like it's a concert? Like go to the movie theater and act like you at the concert type thing?
It's like a concert / documentary type thing.
God,
see, this one of those
Mark employees.
Yeah, this one of the moments where I'm glad to be older.
Yeah,
I don't care about this.
Y'all about to be standing up, throwing popcorn on the chair. It's about to be a mess, boy. Let me tell you. Somebody go have to walk. We will turn the movie off if you do not sit in a chair.
And you know it's gonna have to be Curtis too.
And we will turn it off. You are adults. You gotta get your substitute teacher voice on, dog. Cut this bitch off right now. Okay.
Ridiculous.
NBA YoungBoy concert move. Hey, bro. What? I wasn't ready for that. All right. But yeah, I mean, like the Michael movie, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm gonna see it in theaters. I'm not a big fan of biopics, especially like cradle to grave biopics. Yeah. They don't usually say anything interesting. I think they're like amusing to watch because it's like, oh, they recreate some iconic moments. Is that worth $25 to me? Nah, I'll probably say that for the Avengers. Clayface.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie though. Ray is the best biopic ever.
Ray's cool. You know, it's a well done
great.
version of that. I think that it could be interesting. You ever see Walking Hard, Dewey Cox story?
Yeah, you know what? I've never watched it, but I've always wanted to watch it.
You got to watch it. If you like biopics or you watched enough, it makes fun of that genre like in a loving way. Like you would enjoy it. It's great. It is a legit one of the better movies ever. Comedies of that era. But yeah, with biopics, it's just like, hey man, as long as you know what you're going in there, to be like, oh, he really do look like Michael a little bit, and then like see some shit that you remember, and then be like, oh, they recreated that. You know what I mean? I think the best format for a biopic like that is just do what they did with the New Edition story. Put that shit on BET, 8 episodes. Worked out. That was really good experience. You ever watch that?
It was really good. It was really good actually.
You don't got to pay $25 to see it. You can see all the shit that you want to see. They do all the little videos and all that, and you can play it the whole time because you ain't even worried about a runtime. That's the best way to do it. If you're gonna do that, you know what I mean? Just release the shit on Netflix. You know what I mean? Give us 8 episodes. And everybody gonna be happy, right?
Definitely need. I think the way for you to do a biopic in a way that it's good. Like we need biopics about artists that we really don't know that much about.
Mm-hmm.
But but with the internet, it's so difficult to like even have someone like that because we know everything about everybody now.
Yeah, or it's like or you could focus the biopic instead of it being like about that person's entire life. It could be about a moment in that person's life, like a movie about the trial that Michael Jackson went through. I mean, that's going to be hard to get approved by his family, but there's certainly a story there that's interesting, right?
They're never going to approve that.
Well, I mean, you could tell it. You could tell it in a way where you don't have to get the approval from the family, but it's not going to be like Michael Jackson fans show up and dress up as Michael Jackson and do it, right? Or you can maybe do a movie about the like kind of just focusing in on just Thriller or Off the Wall, right? Or that transition from Jackson 5 to there. Like you could zoom in on a specific portion of somebody's career and then kind of have the scope limited to that, and you could tell the complete story. But oftentimes these biopics, they try to just tell everything. And it's just like, now you're condensing stuff. Now you're limiting the whole writing of Thriller to Michael Jackson being like, do, 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 and that's how he made Thriller. Like, it's not how that shit happened at all. But it could be done different. I just wish there was more inventiveness with how they go about biopics, because it's just, it's the same shit. And in a TV series, that's fine. But in a movie that you pay $25 for, don't know. like don't know if that's...
I'm not gonna lie though. If anybody wants to make a Prince biopic, we need that.
But see, the Prince thing needs to be like, I need a series. I need a Prince series because his life is so much happened. Okay, in his life, I need a season with 4. I need a series with 8 episodes a year for 4 seasons to cover all of it. Right? Like a Luther story would be interesting, right? Like what was going on with like some of the stuff behind the scenes with him. I was about to say somebody else. Like the Temptation story is like legitimately an interesting one because all of them died like super quick. And like they had a lot of shit going on in the 60s against each other. So I think they've already done one. Obviously they've already done one, but maybe somebody wants to take a swing at that again. Maybe. I don't know.
Otis Redding. I like an Otis one.
When they gonna make the Jay-Z biopic? So who they gonna get to play him? Jonathan Boyega?
Man, we never get a Jay-Z.
Are we sure?
We probably never get a home.
Oh, we are getting a Jay-Z biopic, but man, it's gonna be like, damn, I didn't think was it Dame Dash involved at some point? They gonna do that shit just like Straight Outta Compton. It was like, wow, there are people who are definitely involved that aren't in this movie. Like, who's playing Dame Dash? Nobody. Like, oh,
No, he got to get somebody to play Dame.
Or he gonna get a Clifton Powell to play Dame. Just make him a villain.
Clifton Powell always a villain, bro. That's crazy.
You know what? I was watching this is a sitcom from the early 90s. This is one of Clifton Powell's first roles. It's called Rock, right? And Clifton Powell, this is where he got popular from, right? Was being a part of one of these arcs on this show called Rock. You know what they had Clifton Powell ass doing?
What?
Selling drugs across the street. He been a villain since day one.
Day one,
dog.
We'll let him do nothing else.
He walked up there and one scene, he's like, "Yeah, Rock, I'm selling crack across the street. And you know what? I might sell it to your wife here." It was like, damn, this what he on day one? Just violence, criminal, like villain, Clifton Powell. Like his agent was right about him. Like, I got a great new villain. You need a villain in a black movie? I got the guy. I got the next big thing.
Crazy. He wasn't lying. He wasn't lying at all.
Good, right? Like you go through every black sitcom, Clifton Powell pops up as a villain somewhere. It was like I was watching LL Cool J's In the House. Clifton Powell got a whole 2-season arc. What Clifton Powell doing? Selling drugs. Like, unbelievable, but very believable because Clifton Powell's good at his job. We got the next super chat.
We done.
Oh, we done.
That was it. Nobody told me that was the last one.
No. Curtis said we done like twice.
Like done twice, and you wanted to talk about Clifton Powell for like a good 10 minutes, which I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
You trying to be the next Clifton Powell. That's why I'm gonna introduce Curtis as the Clifton Powell of Brown's Twitter. Every time we be having a good time, here come Curtis. Well, we'll see. It seems like a fail to me, but we'll see.
You should give Domo that. Domo's more negative than me, and I'm not even negative. I'm more optimistic.
Yeah, but Domo's not like. How do I put this? Damo's negativity doesn't really hit you that hard because it's kind of amusing the lengths he goes to maintain. Your negativity comes from an honest place, and that's what makes you such a good villain.
Oh man!
All right, let's get our shout outs out the way.
Yeah. Who we shouting out today? Steel Toe Gang, obviously, all our sanitation workers.
Hey man, shout out to all the AMC Cinemark workers. I be hearing about the stories y'all be going through, bruh. The AMC Pass people, apparently that's a cult. Did you know about this, Curtis?
I just now figured that out.
The AMC Plus, yeah, apparently it's like a cult.
Okay.
They get 3 free movies a week, and they're like really aggressive about making sure that you join them for those movies. It's like a whole thing.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah, they out here playing young boy movies. Them kids gonna be standing on. Y'all just got all them new seats installed. It's all leather furniture. They gonna be standing on that shit in their Air Force Ones.
Why they gotta be Air Force Ones?
Cold. Don't do that. Come on now.
Why?
What you think they wearing?
They could be wearing anything. Why they have to be?
It could be anything. They could got gammas. They got the red.
You think they out there in Stan Smith Adidas? Like Air Force was in Tim's. Like,
wow.
Yeah. What you wearing to a young boy concert? You wear?
I feel like that's a Curtis question because I'm not going to it.
Yeah, you're not going to a young boy concert. What you wearing to a young boy concert?
I'm not going to a young boy concert. It's kind of dangerous.
If you were to go, what would you wear?
And probably have what? T-shirt. I don't know what kind of T-shirt.
No, what shoes you wearing?
Probably got to throw out the Gammas or probably the Gammas or the Carolina Blues. I don't know.
Some Jordans.
Yeah.
I think because we can throw some Jordans out there. That felt too on the nose. Air Force Ones, though, it's going to be happening. And Air Force Ones are big fucking shoes too. So like you step on furniture with them bitches. That's toe up already.
Hey, so shout out the gamers and shout out all the anime watchers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out all the guards. Shout out the guards fans because we got Travis Bazander's debut today, so we locked in for that.
That's gonna
We
hit
are locked
crazy for about 20,000 people.
Listen,
Bro, that's gonna be crazy. Shout out to
who you
Guards.
shout out, Q?
Shout out to Guards fan. You know, we know you're out there. Appreciate you for showing up.
Guards fan. That's crazy.
Yeah, shout out to the Guards fan. Shout out to Dean Wade. You know what? You haven't let me down this playoffs. Almost everybody else in that starting lineup has. Dean been getting this 5 and 8. Okay, it been playing good defense. It ain't been the fucking problem. You know, Dean Wade was actually making shots in Game 4. He made like a turnaround post jumper. I can't believe I can say this, but like I think Dean Wade showed up more than Donovan Mitchell did in that game. Let's see who else we shot out. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to Omar Khan. Appreciate what you're doing in Pittsburgh. Love the work. Who else we shouting out? Shout out to whoever in chat gave me the shout out to whoever in chat let them know that I was right about that Pokemon thing last week. I didn't shout you out last week. I got to shout you out this week. Big shout.
I'm pretty sure that was Ray. I'm pretty sure that was Ray.
Shout out to Leon Thomas. Got to see him live before the Bruno concert. It's really good live. Man, be playing them instruments for real. Right? So
I'm trying to think. Oh, also shout out all delivery drivers, DoorDashers, Instacarters, Lyft drivers.
Everybody except for my local FedEx driver.
Yeah.
Fuck that man.
I was trying to get through this one without your FedEx rant.
Nah, we can move on. I'll just say, you know, Miguel from FedEx, I got beef with you, big dog. We can move on.
I'm trying to think if we got any. I don't know if I don't think I have any more shout outs.
Shout out to Curtis's hoodie supplier. You know,
Same hoodie I'm always wearing. So, you know.
Would you wear a hoodie to the Young Boy concert?
Absolutely not. It would be too hot in there, man. Too many people in there.
That's fair. That's fair. Answer the question in chat. Would you go to the Young Boy movie concert? Let us know down below why you would go, especially if your name is Damo, because we know Damo loves NBA Young Boy. I heard he said he better than Jeezy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? When he said it in the group text, I was like, that's nuts, bro. But yeah, he said that Jeezy, he really this generation Jeezy.
I was like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was honestly strucken back by the blasphemy, but you know, that's just me. Everybody have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.